on your wrist, a plain Jane.
The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. What up and welcome back. It's your girl Jane, the plainest Jane, and we got some syrup to get into. Everybody come on in and get on the bus. Happy Friday, okay? It's late Friday night. I came through to scoop y'all up and give y'all the rundown with what's going on in the world as it pertains to everyday regular people like you and me, and when it comes to these crazy celebrities. So look, I tell y'all, things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life, and let me tell you something. As we get ready to pull off, okay, I was listening to what's his name, Flashy Pastor, Scamming Pastor, Bishop Bling Bling, Bishop Lamar Whitehead, whatever you want to call him, right? I was listening. I sat in on his Bible study this morning. His Bible study was this morning between, I would say between like 5 a.m. and like 6:30 this morning. Baby, when I tell you it was a key because he cannot read. He can barely read. He can barely read, and he definitely can't hold a subject because he's so busy worrying about telling people that they need to be scared for being critical of him. It's hilarious. Let me get my co-host up here. Okay, come on up here, co-host. Yes, it's your turn. It's your turn to get some shine. Hit thumbs up. Share this video on Twitter. Share this video on social media, in your group chats. All like I said, Leo, it's right here. All right. Okay. Damn. The people wanted to see a little something. Here, Leo. Here. Here. All right. That's it. That's the only one. Okay. All right. All right. Can you get down, please? I paid you your fare. You'll get the other half of your payment at the end of the show. I gotta make sure you're not gonna flake on me. Can you get down, please? Can you get down, please? Please. Excuse me. Thank you. All right, y'all. Come on in. Let's get started. If you ain't at least gonna hit thumbs up for me, hit thumbs up for the cat. Okay? He's a very sassy, moody, nasty cat. It's my buddy. It's my co-host. Okay? Leo, get down. Get down. It's not a thank you, because it's not a question. Look, my co-host, he's always got a lot to say. And look, I don't know where he gets it from, okay? I don't know where he gets it from, but look, I'm excited to be here with you all this evening. We have a very, very full itinerary for the bus tonight. We're going to be taking y'all through a lot of different topics, i.e. a lot of different neighborhoods. We're touching on Breonna Taylor. Is she really getting justice or isn't she? Of course, we're going to cover Brittany Griner. We're talking about the pox of the monkey. There's a nationwide t-shirt shortage I want to get into. New York has a lot of craziness going on between Mayor Eric Adams and the drama surrounding him and Rikers Island, but also the New York City Department of Health. They really tried it. We're going to talk about that as well. Then I've got some celebrity information, right? R. Kelly, free R. Kelly was trending today. Let's talk about why. I'm going to bust out the legal documents and really shut all the hype down, okay? There's some information about NeYo. His wife allegedly filed a protective order. Let's get into whether that's true or not and some of the details and exactly how much her attorney's fees are and who's going to pay for it. Wendy Williams and Jason Lee, listen, we got a lot of stuff that we are talking about this evening on the bus. So come on in, pick a seat, get comfortable. I know some of y'all are drinking and smoking on a bus, but put your bottles down. I ain't trying to get pulled over, okay? So make sure you hit thumbs up if you haven't already. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Shout out to my mods. Also, shout out to my channel members. I see a couple of people have joined the channel. 2 people have joined the channel before the show got started. So thank you all so much for becoming a Backstage Sticky member. And don't forget to check the community tab for your members only community tab posts. Okay. Now let's get ready for takeoff, shall we?
The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
All right, now. So, without further ado, y'all are aboard the Black News Bus. If you're not familiar already, the Black News Bus is basically a social media stroll that covers Black topics inside of the celebrity world, but it also covers real world Black news and things that affect everyday people like you and me. And I always got some nuggets of Black excellence and Black history worked up into the show's format. So, real quick, I hope you're feeling all right. Tap into your mental health. If you haven't already handled your invisible problems, what's going on in your world, you truly have no business dibbling and dabbling in what's happening in the celebrity world. Again, shout out to my new subscribers. Okay, we're on our way to 11,000. That's really exciting. And of course, before I get into breaking down today's topics and viral events, make sure you subscribe and hit thumbs up or down. Either way, I appreciate it. But make sure you think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. Now, let's get right into it. Okay. We're talking about Breonna Taylor, right? Before we get into the celebrity stuff and all that other stuff, because the celebrity stuff, and of course the Black man that dressed up as a slave for work, right? Forgot to put that in the intro. Before we get into the shenanigans, I want to get into the details of this Breonna Taylor situation just to make sure that we understand it. And I really want to know where you land with the Breonna Taylor situation, okay? So March 13th, let's just go back 874, technically 875 days ago, okay? March 13th, 2020, honestly, it is a day that changed the family and friends of Breonna Taylor, their lives. It changed it forever. And ultimately, it changed it for the worse. It also catapulted America, along with the slaughter of George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery, into a racial uprising and a series of protests against police brutality and racial injustice. So Breonna Taylor was a 26-year-old hospital worker. She was asleep on her couch. Police were executing a forged no-knock search warrant. Okay, so this was a falsified document, and they were really targeting Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. Now, he was previously convicted for selling drugs. Now, this is someone who actually shot in self-defense as he was in the apartment with Breonna Taylor. He treated the police as intruders, which, quite frankly, they were intruders. Now, he wounded one of the officers in the leg. He went to court for that because they tried to charge him with attempted murder. However, that was dismissed. And the judge permanently closed the case, meaning he cannot ever be charged again for that very incident. And oh, by the way, there were no drugs found in the search because after they shot and killed Breonna Taylor, although the search was canceled, they still searched anyway. They were determined to find something, but there was nothing to find because there was nothing going on. Okay. So there was only one officer involved in the raid who had previously been charged in the case, and that officer was Officer Brett Hankinson. I'm going to go ahead and bring his image on screen just so he can get his moment of fame. I'm at shame. Okay. And so there were ultimately 2 current and 2 former Louisville Metro Police Department officers who are being charged with the federal crimes related to the death of Breonna Taylor. Okay, so let's see if we can take a second to listen. If you haven't already taken a moment to hit thumbs up, thank you so much for doing so now. Look, I do my thing to make sure I can give y'all thorough research and information about the things that are happening in the world. Okay, so let's hear what
they were informed
what was said about Breonna Taylor and her death. Okay, or actually these officers being held accountable or brought to justice. Okay, let's take a look.
Earlier today, I spoke with the family of Breonna Taylor. This morning, they were informed that the Justice Department has charged 4 current and former Louisville Metro Police Department officers with federal crimes related to Ms. Taylor's death. Those alleged crimes include civil rights offenses, unlawful conspiracies, unconstitutional use of force, and obstruction offenses. The 4 defendants were charged through 2 separate indictments and 1 information. I'm going to begin today by discussing the civil rights offenses that stem from the falsification of a search warrant. We allege that these offenses resulted in Ms. Taylor's death. We allege that the defendants knew their actions in falsifying the affidavit could create a dangerous situation and we allege these unlawful acts resulted in Ms. Taylor's death. The charges announced today also allege that the officers responsible for falsifying the affidavit that led to the search took steps. Earlier today, I spoke with the family of Breonna Taylor. This morning, they were informed that the Justice Department has charged 4 current and former Louisville Metro Police Department officers with federal crimes related to Ms. Taylor's death. Those alleged crimes include civil rights offenses, unlawful conspiracies, unconstitutional use of force, and obstruction offenses. The 4 defendants were charged through 2 separate indictments and 1 information. I'm going to begin today by discussing the civil rights offenses that stem from the falsification of a search warrant. We allege that these offenses resulted in Ms. Taylor's death. We allege that the defendants knew their actions in falsifying the affidavit could create a dangerous situation, and we allege these unlawful acts resulted in Ms. Taylor's death. The charges announced today also allege that the officers responsible for falsifying the affidavit that led to the search took steps to cover up their unlawful conduct after Ms. Taylor was killed. We allege that defendants Janes and Goodlett conspired to knowingly falsify an investigative document that was created after Ms. Taylor's death. We also allege that they conspired to mislead federal, state, and local authorities who were investigating the incident. For example, we allege that in May 2020, those 2 defendants met in a garage where they agreed to tell investigators a false story. This indictment separately alleges that defendant Meany lied to the FBI during its investigation of this matter.
Okay, so that was the Attorney General that we heard speaking on this situation, okay? And we heard him talk about the civil rights offenses, unlawful conspiracy, unconstitutional use of force, and obstruction, right? And we get back into Mr. Hankinson, who was acquitted on trial earlier this year. Now, he is being charged with excessive force for when he opened fire during the raid. It's really unfortunate that he was the only person who was taken to trial or attempted to be held accountable, right, for the death of Breonna Taylor. However, he did go to court in the jury trial. He was acquitted. Okay. Now let's get into someone else, because there were 4 officers who were involved in this situation. And I see the channel members joining the channel. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you all. So this is Joshua James. Okay. He's a former officer. And there was also a serving officer. Her name is Kelly Goodlett. And there was also another officer. His name is Kyle Meany. They're all being charged with the falsification of a search warrant. Now, Joshua here in the red shirt, he drafted the search warrant. And then let me bring up Kyle's picture. All right. He has on a green shirt. So we can get to know these characters here, right? So Joshua drafted it. Kyle on the screen signed it. The woman, Kelly, I'm going to bring her picture up in a second. She allegedly helped to falsify this document, having seen the draft days before, knowing full well there was untrue and inaccurate information on it, and she never changed it or objected the info. Let me bring up her image for you as well. There seems to be some bittersweet elements within this story, and I'll get to that in just a second. This is Kelly Goodlett, okay? And so the bittersweet process about it is, right, like, it is this stuff for show, right? Because again, one of them already went to court and he was acquitted. So are y'all just doing this for show, or what's really going to happen? The good thing about it is, right, out of the 4 officers being charged, 2 are current, 2 are former officers. The termination process has begun for the 2 officers who were actively still employed with the Louisville Police Department. Now, this is great, and it looks like they'll be brought to some type of justice, but will they be sentenced correctly? That's the question here. 874 days after the death. Again, we're talking about something that happened on March 13th, 2020. And today is August 5th, meaning that this is something that broke yesterday, August 4th, 874 days later. What we really want to know, this is what we really want to know. How many days until the trial and conviction? How many days? right? Like, because are y'all just doing things to satisfy the public for show or what? Joshua James and Kyle Meany were arrested by the FBI yesterday morning, but as of 1:30 yesterday afternoon, they were released. The only person that remains in custody is Brett Hankinson here. Now, again, they're falsifying warrants. They busting down doors in the middle of the night. It was literally a little after midnight, killing an innocent person. Let me tell you something. This is the reason why I want to know how many days until trial and conviction, because it's moving real slow for me. It's like, oh, we're supposed to be happy and right. And yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see that they're arrested, that they're, losing their jobs and so on and so forth. But when are we really going to hold them accountable for real? Why did it take so long? Reason why I say is, y'all know I'm from Baltimore, right? Born and raised, still live right here in Baltimore. There was a woman who owned a daycare out in Randallstown-ish, Owens Mills area, right? She shot her husband for sexually abusing children, right? On a Thursday. And no, matter of fact, it was a Tuesday. And by Friday, she was in front of the judge for a preliminary hearing, right? So it's like different things. And she shot her, she didn't kill him. Come to find out, allegedly, he really was doing some of these things. So Black and brown folk who do things, right? She ain't kill nobody. From my point of view, she was doing the Lord's work. This is a daycare that she owned. Her husband was a retired police officer who was asking some of the children, right? All of them under 11 years old, asking them to send pictures, to take pictures of their private parts. Even helped one of the young children who was 7 years old to pull up a porn site. This is grooming and abuse. And if she didn't hold him accountable, who would have? Again, she shot this man who didn't die, right? She made sure she didn't end his life on Tuesday. And by Friday, she was in front of a judge. They making sure she gets a quick and speedy trial. But when it comes to people and things and situations such as the lost life of Breonna Taylor, all of a sudden, 874 days? Now, the husband has now been arrested. He faces 3 child abuse charges. Okay. But the point of the matter is, they didn't even give her bond. Exactly. They were quick. Back to Breonna Taylor. I just wanted to just compare like different cases and different things. No loss of life, a couple of days in front of a judge. But when you got the complexion for protection and when you got the blue backing you, it's something totally different. Here's the part about it. You get into a car accident, regardless of whose fault it was, if you get out and you say, I'm sorry, the insurance company considers that to be an admission of guilt. Well, they were quick to give Breonna Taylor's family money when they paid out a $17 million settlement for her wrongful death suit. They gave that out the same year. This happened on March 13th of 2020. So before the year was out, the family received a $17 million payment. So you paid it out because it was a legitimate wrongful death. Is that not an admission of guilt? Why would you pay $17 million to somebody if you were innocent, if you didn't do anything wrong? Why? You gave out the money that year, but you dragged your feet to see if, the public outcry or, would continue or not. I'm happy that we've gotten an inch, but at some point we've got to be more critical of these situations and not just accept scraps. Is this a ploy to just shut the public up? Oh, well, they've been arrested and we're going to charge them. When? It's already been too long. But that's just my opinion. I'm curious to know what you all feel about it, Stickies. Let me know your thoughts down below. Okay. Shout out to all 133 of us in here. We got 79 thumbs up. I appreciate y'all for showing love to this video. But honestly, I want to continue this conversation in the chat, but in the comments as well. If you're chasing the bus, which means you didn't catch the live stream, and that's okay. What are your thoughts about this situation with Breonna Taylor? How long do you think before they actually are in front of a judge and will be sentenced? And do you think that they'll be fairly sentenced? What I find to be extremely disheartening about this situation is it seems like Kelly Goodlett is going to take a plea deal of some sort, right? Her information is a little bit more, the way that the paperwork is looking, right? Within the paperwork that has been passed through the courts, it looks like she might be taking a plea deal, right? They didn't announce if she was arrested or anything like that. All three of the other guys have been arrested, although 2 have been released. But it seems like she's given up information. And we know that they were conspiring against Breonna Taylor because Kelly Goodlett, even the FBI was basically able to find that Kelly Goodlett and one of these other officers, they met up in a car garage to make sure they were on the same page. Literally said, listen, when we gonna tell this story, we need to be on the same page about it, because they had already given conflicting information. It took all this time for them to actually bring them. There's no new information that has been brought to the surface for this to have just had happened. And of course, we had Attorney Ben Crump and everybody else on the front line talking about this situation yesterday, right? Press and all that other stuff. But look, I'm gonna just pull back right there, because I personally feel like this is not enough, and we need to stop being satisfied with scraps and virtue signaling and publicity ploys. This is what this feels like to me. Do something to do something quick, because if it was the other way around, it would have been done. Okay? Those are my thoughts, but I'm curious to know how y'all feel about it down below in the comments. Okay? So let's get into this next thing. I think this next thing might really, really, really trip y'all out. Just to kind of get into something that's a little bit more light. We do have some serious stuff that we still need to talk about in this show that we have on the itinerary. This bus is driving. Okay? Best Black news and celebrity entertainment over here. We're talking about this Black man who dressed up as a slave for work. And I want to know where you all land with this situation. Okay? I want to know where you land with this situation, right? Let's take a look at the screen. This Black man went to work and he dressed up as a slave. What happened was, as I show you all these pictures, okay? He's barefoot and everything. I think he understood the assignment. I'm going to start off saying that there. Unpopular opinion, because y'all don't have the full context, right? If I'm feeding y'all the story. He definitely understood the assignment. I know some of you might be grossed out, but I'm going to show you the rest of the pictures before I tell you what's really going on with this story. He's actually picking cotton, right? This is something that his job organized. His job organized this. If you don't hear the end of the story, you don't really know what's going on. He actually had some cotton that he took with him. Okay? Standing outside of the building, no feet, dressed in slave cosplay. Okay? This is slave cosplay. Let me make this a little big on the screen for you all. Okay? Y'all gotta know what happened. He said, update, look, y'all, I got a new job. Okay? Do not enter, staff only. So let's get into the real nitty gritty of what this is about. I know a lot of y'all in the comments like, what is going on? It took me a minute to wrap my mind around this, but let's get into what it really is, right? So a company throws a corporate retreat at a plantation in Southern Alabama with a period-appropriate costume ball. The only Black guy that works for the company shows up dressed as a slave. Let that sink in. His workplace decided, let's go on a retreat to a plantation in Southern Alabama and have a time period appropriate costume ball. Meaning, if you're showing up to a plantation and y'all are having a costume ball based on a certain time period, which is a plantation, what were y'all white asses dressing up as? And y'all forgot y'all invited a Black person on this trip. That's what we doing? Oh, but this story gets juicy. Okay? So he had to attend a corporate retreat over the weekend that happened to take place on a southern plantation in Alabama. Period appropriate costume ball scheduled for the trip, but apparently they forgot about me. Their only Black employee. Hilarity ensued. He says, I'm currently on the phone with the boss and HR. I was wondering why the call wasn't with the boss and the HR chick that I deal with all the time. I now know why I'm dealing with the head of HR and not the usual chick that I go through. LOL. The normal HR chick is the person I expected to hear from. It wasn't her on the phone because the party was her dumbass idea. She has been fired. I have been promoted with a disproportionate raise and better benefits. But I've been assured that this has nothing to do with anything that happened on the retreat and just happens to be coinciding with the HR assistant director who was fired. So remember, kids, correlation is not equal to causation. Do you get the point? So instead of him being invited to this situation, right, and saying, what the hell you mean I'm going to a plantation and I have to dress in a costume in a time appropriate themed ball, a costume ball? Oh. So instead of him complaining beforehand and saying, you know what, this is totally out of line. What is the matter with you? He decided, you know what, I'm going to show up and play my part and I'm going to put it on social media and make y'all look crazy. Cause a frenzy. It got the woman's whose idea it was fired. Okay. He showed up with his wife and those white people, right, that were dressed in their time appropriate costumes. They had no clue they were speechless when that happened. Now, do you think that had he just said that this is inappropriate, I would feel like a slave? Do you think that that woman would have been fired? Okay. Do you think that that person would have been fired? Wife and I are making terrible time to the work conference, mainly due to the fact that my instincts keep kicking in. So he has this deadpan sense of humor. Like, yeah, I'm going to play this part, but I'm going to let y'all know that this is wrong. And I'm going to illustrate it for you because there's no email that would have been as vivid and as shocking as this. Not to mention he placed it online. So if there was anyone who questioned him about this online or otherwise, or if his employer decided to not side with him, these pictures are already on social media. He could have done a whole tour. He says, we've arrived ahead of everyone. Despite my instincts, I'll be staying here in the big house. So his sense of humor is it's out of this world. Okay. It's out of this world. Here he is driving the car. Here he is outside of the house. His entrance to the party. Now, here's the woman before she saw his outfit, right? Dressed in her, whatever she's dressed in, right? Whatever you call this. Go to a damn plantation. They're going to call it some damn time appropriate ball, right? But when she turned around and saw his outfit, she was confused. She didn't know what to do. In the end, the boss canceled the party and the CEO who was supposed to be at the party never showed up. The reason they gave for canceling the party was inclement weather. And while it did rain, the party was supposed to be outside, but the location had more than enough space inside for there to be some sort of contingency plan. It's also a bit odd that the CEO canceled. As far as I know, he isn't allergic to rain. My thoughts, I think the climate was just a bit dark for him. Okay. So, yeah, these people didn't know what to do because I guess they thought they would be by themselves in slave owner cosplay. They didn't expect someone else to show up. Listen, that's some commitment, okay? Rather than draft a formal complaint, he decided I can show you better than I can tell you. Listen, this is a different level of petty. It also takes a different level of, collecting yourself. And look, I want to know if you could have done it. Could you have done this, right? Considering what he got, right? He got the woman fired, right? Essentially, him showing up and really playing that part, got that woman fired. It got him a substantial raise and got him better benefits. Could you have done it? Drop a 1 in the chat if you could have done something like this, or drop a 2 in the chat if you would have quit or wrote a formal complaint and you wouldn't even showed up to this nonsense. Drop a 3 in the chat if you think he was playing chess and he played it well. Any all thoughts, let me know down below. I just think it's a really interesting take because he didn't get upset. At least he wasn't the type of upset where he showed it. There was no need for him to get irate. That is something that I think would get under any Black person's skin. Hello, like what's our history? And he handled it in a way that the company would have never expected. And they thought this would fly under the radar, and they forgot that they had invited this Black ass. They forgot they had invited him. So he said, okay, I got something for them. I got something for them. It is what it is. It is what it is. This lady had no clue. It's very interesting. Very interesting. 3, but I'm not going to lie. I probably would have shown up. I would have been pissed. Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. All right. Let's get into the next story. I had to get into that little bit of social media because it threw me for a loop. I'm not going to lie. Somebody tagged me in it. Shout out to Jen 2 Fit to Quit. One of my stickies tagged me in it. And I'm sitting here trying to understand it and figure it out. And I'm seeing Black folk like he understood the assignment. Meanwhile, all I can see, they're agreeing, they're laughing. And I'm like, what's wrong with our people? All I'm seeing is slavery pics and work. I didn't get it until I had to read and really comprehend. It took me some time. I said, oh, okay. That's a different move. But original, clever. Clever. I would have never thought of that, to be completely honest with you. I would have just wrote a strongly worded letter. And if they hadn't decided with me, I would have took my ass to social media. Y'all know how I go. Good morning, America. Where you at? Okay. Let's move on to the next subject. There's nothing like, when people intend to do things that are just racially charged and are going to get Black folk worked up, rightfully so. There's nothing like handling it in a way where you do not give them that sort of satisfaction. Instead, you bring your sense of humor and mind fuck them. And this was a huge bag of reverse psychology. We're going to keep it above. All right, let's move on to the next subject. We're going to get into Brittney Griner. Okay, Lord, we need to talk about this political pawn or fair sentencing. What do you think? Before we get into it, do you think Brittney Griner was a political pawn? Drop a 1 in the chat. It was an excessive sentence. Or drop a 2 in the chat if you think that it was a fair sentence and she gets what she deserves. Let's get into it. Hey, thanks for letting me keep you connected and in the know with what's happening in the Black world. Don't forget to smash on that like button for support and for more Black news. All right, so this situation with Brittney Griner, it's heavy, and there's still a lot that we really don't know about this situation. It's eerie. It's eerie. Okay. So Brittney Griner was just sentenced to 9.5 years in Russian prison. As Brittney Griner, as we know, she was arrested at an airport in February for possession of cannabis oil, right? This is stuff that was in vape pens. I believe it was 0.7 ounce, or wasn't even a full ounce. But these were vape pen cartridges, right? That, mind you, she had a prescription for, right? But she was at an airport in Moscow. Now, prosecutors asked for a sentence of 9.5 years after closing arguments in a lengthy trial that is underscored frayed relations between the United States and Russia since the Kremlin's invasion of Ukraine. Now, Griner pleaded guilty last month to charges that carry a maximum sentence of 10 years. And in a final plea for leniency on Thursday, an emotional Brittney apologized and repeated that she never intended to break any Russian laws, but had made an honest mistake. She basically said that she was rushing and hastily packing her luggage. Okay. And just hours later, the judge returned to announce that she had been found guilty of possession of drugs and smuggling. She'll also have to pay a 1 million ruble fine, which is ultimately $16,590 in American. But they are going to appeal the verdict. They have 10 days from the day that the sentence was handed down, which was yesterday, to appeal the verdict. Now, I do think personally, I'm about to see how y'all feel about it in the chat. Okay. A lot of ones. Troll Farm Buggy said too, because Troll Farm Buggy ain't. But no, I think that this is an outrageous, politically motivated prosecution. I think it's a gross injustice. While I don't, might as well just go ahead and get into the prisoner trade, right? I don't think that it's a fair trade. The war criminal, right? The guy that sells all that, ammo, guns, whatever. I don't think it's a fair trade, but do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just out of control. It's out of control. Nicki Minaj's dad was killed, right? Hit and run driver, white man, only sentenced to 1 year. Now, granted, that's the United States, but still, we just 10 years for a vape pen cartridge. Okay. Iman Shumpert was arrested. He had a whole 6 ounces that he was trying to go through an airport with. He was booked and released with the quickness, right? He was arrested, I think, Saturday over the weekend, right? But there's also, let me pull up this image. A 19-year-old was sentenced to time served and fined 15,000 rubles, which is just a little over 230 American dollars, after being found guilty of attempting to import marijuana purchased in the United States to Russia. Okay. A gross injustice. And she actually had 17 grams. So let me go ahead and pull this image up so that you can see it in black and white. Okay. Brittney Griner, 31 years old, 0.7 grams, THC cartridges in her vape. This little 19-year-old, okay, was found guilty for 17 grams, right? And she got time served. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? There are more people over there being charged with more, but there's clearly like no consistency here. No consistency here. I do agree. Our government continues to give Ukraine monies, and it's a lot. Were they negotiating hard enough for the return of Brittney? Who knows? Here's what I really want to know. And listen, don't fight me, because I know how you girls like to tussle. Where's the LGBT community speaking up for Brittney Griner? Where's their outcry? Where is it? I mean, look, the LGBT community has a lot of power, okay? A lot of people don't want to end up on the wrong side of them. Nobody wants to be on the side of the end of making the LGBT community angry. We don't want to be the subject of that, because honestly, I don't know who's got more power, the LGBT community or the barbs. You know what I'm saying? Where's it at? Where's it at? I heard 2 WNBA players speaking up about this, 2 athletes speaking up about this, and that's really pretty much it. Justin Bieber wants to help. Okay, cool. But where they at? It's just a question. Questions that need answers, I would say. Right? Let's get into a little bit more information about the swap, because the swap still seems to be very much still up in the air. It's very weird. It's very weird. We have no clue what is really going on with it. We're just getting different tidbits of information every day about it. Okay. Oh, someone said unpopular opinion, and maybe Brittany's karma coming back for the way she did her ex-wife. I'm not familiar with what she did with her ex-wife. Did she get her ex-wife locked up for 9 years for something insignificant? Because I'm not, people say karma, like what was it? Like, what was it? I'm not sure. Somebody let me know. If you want to let me know what she did to her ex-wife, I'd be interested in reading your comments. But let's get into this swap information, okay? The powers that be in Russia say that they're open to discussing the prisoner swap with Brittney, but they are warning the United States not to be vocal and not to speak openly about the negotiations. Do you think she's going to be swiped domestic violence? Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, I'm going to have to read up on that. My question to you all is, right, we talk about this in the Discord, and we be going on, and we think so many different ways, which I think is cool. I always tell you to think critically and independently when you're over here on my channel. I want to know if you all think that Brittney is going to be swapped. Drop an 8, okay? Drop an 8 in the chat if you think that Brittney's going to be swapped. She's going to come home. She's not going to serve that full sentence. Drop a 9 in the chat if you think it's over. She's going to stay there. Unfortunately, it's not that it means that you want her to stay there. But if you don't think that she's going to make it home, drop a 9 in the chat. I'm curious to see where you all land with this. I'm curious to see. Pleads guilty, seeks counseling. Ooh. Yikes. She did have some domestic violence in her past, I see in an article. 26-week domestic violence counseling program following her arrest on April 22nd. Yikes. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I'm a little speechless because I didn't know about that. I see some 8s. I see some 9s. Hope they don't do anything to her. Hope 8. Some 8s, some 9s. It seems like we've got mostly 8s though, I would say. Okay, shout out to Mr. Real Estate in the building. Thank you so much for stopping through. All of this Brittney Griner talk, right? There was one of these celebrities, I think that this celebrity should run for president, to be quite frank, who had something to say about it. Let's see.
How the hell?
Y'all don't think Boosie should run for president? I'm trolling y'all a little bit, but let's see what this jaundice-eyed only get 3 minutes of sleep a day. Okay, sleep deprived and Boosie ignorant. What's he got to say? Okay.
How the hell this girl get 9 years for a weed pen? And the USA ain't doing nothing about it.
Look. I know weed is one thing, but Boosie eyes, baby, what is it?
You tell me that. If that was Taylor Swift, it'll be a peace treaty right now.
Peace treaty.
It'll be a slight. They'll be drafting to go to war.
Child.
For a weed pen. 9 years. What that show for black women in the United States? And the vice president, as a black woman, you supposed to be on the front line. You supposed to be on the front line to get that black woman out of jail. 9 damn years. Y'all fucked up in this world.
Child.
How the hell this girl get 9 years for a weed pen? And the USA ain't doing nothing about it. You tell me that. If that was Taylor Swift, it'll be a peace treaty right now. It'll be a slight. They'll be drafting to go to war for a weed pen. 9 years. What that show for black women in the United States? And the vice president, as a black woman, you supposed to be on the front line. You supposed to be on the front line to get that black woman out of jail. 9 damn years. Y'all fucked up in this world.
Okay. All right, Boosie. That's enough. No, please. You know we're in difficult times when Boosie is the voice of reason. However, he is, but he ain't. You know, I don't mind giving people who are just systematically wrong. I don't mind saying that they right every now and again, because the broken clock is right 2 times a day. President Kamala cannot get Brittney back over here. Let's start there. Number 2, Kamala does not even identify as black. She won't say it. She wanted our vote. She pandered to us. But when she's asked if she's black, I'm an American. Why would you think that Kamala Harris could single-handedly or even open her mouth and that would really change Russia's opinion, the vice president? Why would you think that? He was right. That's the one thing he was right about, Taylor Swift. That's it. His delivery is always hilarious because he's ignorant. You know, it's funny. It's funny. But that was a message from our future presidential candidate, Boosie. I think he should run. Why not? Why not? And why do we always have to be in the front when no one goes hard for us? Hello? She was supposed to get in front of Joe Biden, child, and take a bullet. Even if it's just figurative, right? As we're talking about the attacks and the scrutiny and everything else that's going to follow, her stepping out and really going against what the rest of the administration is trying to do. That's a setup. And would one of them white men in the White House do that for her? I doubt it. I doubt it. Ignorant, okay? Just flat out ignorant. How is Boosie making sense right now? What is that, child? He only making sense with about 11.5% of what he's saying, okay? Just 11.5%, okay? I think Boosie is enough to make us go to the bush. Let's take a trip.
It was gone.
Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
Boosie, get off my screen, please. Thank you. Too much. I see what I always put that crust on his mouth, though. I see, because that crust was just a flying. Y'all ain't see it? Should have pointed it out while they was there, but I ain't going back to watch it again. They always put that crust around his mouth all the time. See, here you go. Let me show y'all this picture with this crust that they. Y'all see that? Y'all see that portrait? That's a lovely portrait, in my opinion. I think they did a really good job personifying him. Y'all don't think that looked just like him? That crust definitely belongs. It belongs. Shout out to this artist. What an amazing job they've done. So lifelike. Nonetheless, let's get on to some celebrity stuff, okay? Yeah, it is his sugar, child. It's his sugar. It's all types of things. Let's get on to some celebrity stuff, shall we? We've gotten to some heavy things. Now let's get into some fun stuff. And then we're going to get back into some real world stuff. And of course, we got that Black history for you over here always, okay? Now, have y'all heard about Wendy Williams being married? I know you did. And I meant to tell y'all earlier in the show, I feel bad. To my channel members, y'all already know, right? Because I posted something backstage, kind of letting you know what was up. I have been giving y'all 2 videos a night. Every weekday for a minute now. And yesterday and the day before, I just got burnt out. I had videos planned. I wanted to go live. My mind is racing, but I couldn't. My body shut down on me because I was going too hard. Like I'm getting off my 9 to 5, doing this, doing that. And I felt bad I feel bad when I can't give you all content. When I wake up after I, went to sleep, my body's like, sleep, my child. My body put me to sleep without my consent. I feel bad when I haven't given you all content. So y'all know I'm always going to come on here and talk about Wendy Williams. I love talking about her just because she's contributed a lot to any Black women, in communications, right? Whether you try to do TV, podcast, radio, YouTube, whatever the case is, Wendy Williams has certainly paved the way for Black women in communications. It is a male-dominated industry. She's done a lot, right? And although she's in a terrible downward spiral, I love talking about her. Love talking about her, right? Because she's a case study of her own. However, these rumors about her being married, and we were on, I think we might have been on the backup channel. I'm not sure if we were on the backup channel or this channel when I showed you the videos of her being found asleep in a public store, right? Literally within the same 24-hour cycle, she's caught, in someone's vehicle, dazed and confused. I mean, doesn't know which way is up. Really bad, really bad. I doubt that this podcast is going to come out, but I want to talk about this marriage rumor, right? Because it came from Jason Lee. And I feel Jason Lee is exploiting her. The truth about it is that Jason Lee should have never exploited what might have been a private conversation or a conversation when Wendy is not in her right state of mind. Jason Lee, we know, Mr. Hollywood Unlocked, Okay, he drops this exclusive saying that Wendy Williams is married and that she asked her team to keep her entire family away from her except for her son. Then a representative from Wendy Williams' camp, okay, comes out and says, listen, Wendy Williams is not married. She's excited about a new relationship, but I think she just got a little too excited when she said that she's not married. Now, mind you, she alleged, according to Jason Lee, she told him that she was married to a police officer. Okay. So I want to get into Jason Lee. And again, I want to pull back up Hollywood Unlocked, because this is the same man who literally said that the Queen Elizabeth, said that she was dead and doubled down on it. She's very much still alive. She ain't died yet. Right? And don't get me wrong, you know, you can be a journalist or a publication and make a mistake. It doesn't mean that you got to stop blogging or stop, you know, reporting on things just because you make a mistake. But baby, this is who we talking about here. That's why a lot of people were kind of like, what's going on? Okay. I want y'all to listen to this recording, because Jason Lee called himself being upset that TMZ and Page 6 were trying to make him out to be a liar. And that's really, it's really not the case. They really put it in a way where Wendy got so excited and she misspoke. So what these publications were saying is Wendy said the wrong thing, which isn't hard to believe, because Wendy ain't been in her right mind in how long now? How long has it been since Wendy has been in her right mind? Do we not remember? I've had it up to here. I've had it up to here with you. I've had it. All right. Now, let's get into this conversation, because and in the name of him trying to prove I'm not lying, and nobody said you were lying. We said that Wendy was probably in a state where she misspoke. He calls Wendy and he records the phone call. Okay. He records the phone call and we're going to take a listen. All right.
Hi.
Let's go ahead and listen to this. And look, thank you so much for hitting the thumbs up button. If you haven't already taken the time, do so. And share this video with someone via text message, in your group chat, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. Okay. And of course, if you're enjoying the show, make sure you subscribe as well. Okay. Let's take a listen.
Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
So yesterday when you called me and said that you were married, you know, I posted that, right? And now some guy named Will is talking to Page 6 saying it's bullshit, making me look crazy out here.
No, everybody seems to have a problem with that. I'm married.
So is the problem that they don't want people to know you're married, or they didn't want you to tell me you're married?
I'm married. I don't care who knows it. I'm married.
Okay. Well, you know, I fuck with you the long way. I'm always look out for you. I just don't know what Will is doing or why he's out there trying to discredit me, but that shit pissed me the fuck off.
Because Will sees no point in me getting married. But you know what? Fuck Will. 14 years I've known him, and I've always said fuck him in a good way.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I didn't know what podcast was. He put me on podcast. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? What do I do?
Listen, if you want somebody to help you with a podcast, I mean...
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Okay.
I'm not Will for that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. If you're comfortable with him, cool. But he needs to watch his mouth. He better keep my name out of his mouth with that bullshit. And he talking about he's your official rep.
He never said your name. To be quite honest, he never said your name. You just want to come on here and be rah-rah. I'm only showing you part of this video. This is a recorded phone call, but there was a clip that he did before he showed this video where he was like, y'all gonna stop playing on my name. I'm about to fuck the internet up and show y'all who the king of this really. Stop it. Stop.
That's what he told Page 6.
He is.
Okay. Well, somehow he need to get on the same page with you then, because clearly, you know, you talked to me and I said what I said. So I don't know him, but
It's okay.
All right. Well, I wanted to make sure you knew.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay,
See you
bye.
this weekend. Bye.
You know, something about the, yeah, it's okay. It just, I don't believe Wendy's married. I think Wendy believes she's married, but I don't think she is married, if you catch my drift, right? We saw the video of her with the ring, right? Outside. That was a costume ring with a big fake pearl in the middle. I mean, you can go to Macy's and get that ring right now for like $24. Maybe for the likes of Wendy Williams, maybe she bought, there isn't such thing as like $70 costume jewelry and stuff. I don't think, do y'all think Wendy is married? Put a yes in the chat if you think Wendy's married, and put a no in the chat if you don't think she's married. Like, does she even know which way is up? You know, Kevin, he's still playing PR stunts, trying to do whatever the case is. Joey says no. Yeah, I don't think she's married. That was not exploitation. If you see where it was, let me know, because I don't see exploitation. I do think it's exploitation. The reason why is because Wendy has not been in her right mind. As late as this week. It's not even like we're taking, how long ago was a TMZ interview? Probably about like 3-ish weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. Wasn't in her right mind. But literally within the last 5 days, we've seen 2 videos of Wendy in very uncompromised and vulnerable situations. She was found asleep in a public store, and she was talking gibberish to someone that she asked to record her. And so for Jason to have this friendship with Wendy, right? They're cool, they're whatever. It doesn't mean that everything she's saying to you is fact. We know that with the things that Wendy Williams is saying, it's just, you're not taking all of that at face value, because she's not okay right now. That's like talking to somebody with Alzheimer's and going back and telling the internet what they said as if it's fact. It's not. They're sick. So with Jason being a friend of Wendy, why go on and give that information? And then did she know that this phone call was being recorded? Then you're sharing the phone call instead of being like, you know what? The same thing I said about the TMZ interview. Wendy is being exploited. Nobody's stopping her, from talking or whatever. And even so, attention, right, is like a drug for Wendy Williams. And if you continue to give it to her and exploit some of her worst moments or worst things she said, or things that are just like not in her favor, you're enabling the problem. Attention is like a drug for her, right? And let's just say Pookie around the corner is hooked on crack. Just because they ask for crack don't mean that they should have it. They need to get the hell off of it. Just because Wendy is asking for attention doesn't mean you need to give it to her. She is a vulnerable adult. She's not okay. And quite frankly, I can understand that there's just so much going on in her world. She lost her mom, lost her husband to the mistress, add the humiliation on top of that. The relationship with Dept Mercury went so sour. The show, her money, Wells Fargo. Some people call it karma. That's neither here nor there. I think anybody in that situation would be quite broken. Quite broken. He had no business with his messy ass sharing that stuff from a friend of his who is a vulnerable adult. Okay? She don't know what's happening. She had no business. He had no business. Well, might as well call him she, but no, let me not mess up his pronouns, right? Let's be proper. He had no business doing that. That's my thought about it. Okay? Let's move on to the next thing. I get it. You want to get out the tea because listen, there's a lot of information that I've sat on that I haven't released because I do have relationships with some of the subjects I talk about. I don't tell all of y'all about it because I don't want to taint my reporting. And there's certain things that I just can't tell y'all. Like, y'all would probably be surprised at some of the people I speak to behind the scenes and some of the things that I just can't let out of care for the subject. It's not all about... We see there's a YouTuber right now that's going through some mess because they felt like they were friends with a celebrity. And I think that they were friends with the celebrity. But they ended up saying something about this celebrity, and the celebrity had to come out and say, no, that's not true. Because everything you talk about with your celebrity or high-profile friend should not be shared. You should have enough discernment to know what you can or should and should not share. Hello, how are you going to maintain these relationships with these people behind the scenes to get this information if you're not being discreet in the slightest? Come on. Yeah, they are friends, actually. I'm trying to think which award show it was. Was it after the grant? It was some award show afterwards, and they've had lengthy and we've seen them in pictures together. Yeah, they're actually friends. She trusts him. But again, somebody with Alzheimer's, right? Just a comparison. Trusting somebody doesn't mean that they should be trusted, is all I'll say. So, we got some R. Kelly information to go over. Are y'all ready? Are y'all woke in the chat? Are y'all woke? Are y'all still woke? It's 162 of us here, 117 likes. Let me wake y'all up with this R. Kelly song. Y'all want it or y'all don't? Because we got some R. Kelly music. So we might as well get into this R. Kelly remix.
Oh my God.
Is y'all woke or is y'all asleep? It's only 12:30. It ain't that late, is it? Is it that late? No? Y'all sleep? What's going on? What's going on? Wake up, you guys. Wake up. Let's get into it. Okay? Do you have your passports? Do you have your shots? You ready? Let's go.
Baltimore, I can't see you. Where you at?
Y'all killing me with this. I can't help. I am.
Robert.
I can't help. You're killing me, man. This ain't not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it.
At this point, we briefly pause the interview to give Kelly a moment.
Man, y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me. Y'all trying to kill me. Y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me with killing me, man. Trying to kill me. Killing me, man. Trying to kill me. Y'all want to believe it. Trying to kill me. Killing me, man. Trying to kill me. I hope this camera keep going. Stupid R. Kelly. Fight for my life. Stupid R. Kelly. Ain't do it. Stupid R. Kelly. Fight for my life. Stupid R. Kelly. Ain't do it.
Okay? Is y'all up? Is y'all ready? What's going on? Yes? What's going on? Hello? Oh, here you go. All right. I asked y'all if y'all was ready. The cat meowed in my ear and said, yes, I'm ready for another treat. Okay, wait, hold up. We got to have some order and decency here. The people want to see you. So okay. Can you look just that way? The people want to, they want to. Damn. The right there at the people. You don't care nothing about the people. And the people care everything about you. This collar looks horrible. Damn. All right. Come on, because you really didn't. Come on. You're supposed to get paid at the end of the show. Excuse me. Thank you. So. Look, he is not playing. He's really sitting right here. What you call him? Is everything okay? Okay, great. Let's get into it. Here's what I wanted to know. So I'm on Twitter the other day. Let me zoom into this. I went in my Discord, right? I was on Twitter, and I do not have another treat for you. So I'm on Twitter the other day, and I saw that Robert Kelly followed me, right? I said, is this some type of sick joke? I said, what is going on? Why would a Robert Kelly follow me, right? Now, mind you, it's just a fan page, but it's the principle. Why would you seek me out, right? Somebody that holds R. Kelly accountable with no grace, no mercy. What type of sick shit? What is this? What is going on? I don't understand. I don't get it. But also today, let's go ahead and get into it, because I was telling you, right? So this is a sick joke. Somebody was playing with me. I blocked them, because I'd be damned if you follow me to watch all of my what I want to call it, R. Kelly hate. Yeah, because I hate pedophiles. There's no need for you to sit here watching all of my R. Kelly hate tweets and shit for you to feel like you trying to. Don't follow me. You should have stayed in the bushes. I blocked them. But nonetheless, right? Earlier today, I'm seeing free R. Kelly is trending. I said, hold up, wait a minute. Let me put some logic in it. Where's that? Because there's no logic if free R. Kelly is trending. Hashtag free R. Kelly. What the hell happened today that made a damn free R. Kelly trend? Can somebody tell me? Let me put a couple of things on the screen for you, right? Let's let these legal docs set in, right? There was a motion submitted today, right? And I'm going to say today, even though it's 12:37, as if it's still Friday, right? There was a motion put in today. And R. Kelly put in a motion as well. His attorneys put in a motion as well, okay? Let's get into these motions and what they are about, okay? We'll put this motion on the screen. I'm going to let y'all see it, and then we're going to go over it, and the government has already responded to it as well. So we're going to go over that. Yeah, the P-Hive. It's the P-Hive for sure. I already blocked them. Y'all said you won't have to, I blocked them already, because I'd be damned. Why would you follow that? That's like me seeing a free R. Kelly page. Follow me, blocked, because you should have just stayed in the bushes about it. So R. Kelly's attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, says that prosecutors told the U.S. District Court clerk to seal a motion she filed for discovery. Now, she wants it unsealed. R. Kelly's attorney wants it unsealed because the government wanted this motion, this information sealed, right? She says that the feds are trying to litigate in secrecy. Let's go ahead and read this document. And then I'm going to tell you my thoughts in the real synopsis about this situation, right? So we can say it's the United States of America versus R. Kelly. Here's what his attorney has put. R. Kelly, through his counsel, respectfully moves this court to unseal the motions for discovery. In violation of a local rule, the government directed to the clerk to seal the motion, misrepresented to the clerk that the information contained confidential information. The government is engaging in a blatant effort to litigate in secrecy and conceal from the public non-privileged confidential information that it finds unflattering to them or their witnesses. There is and was no basis to seal the motion, and it does not identify any minors or victims in the case, nor does it provide any information that would lead to learning the identity of any minor child or victim. The government recently made a disclosure of R. Kelly about potential criminal activity of one of its complainant witnesses, but refuses to provide discovery related to the disclosure. Let's go over what the government said before I tell you what's really going on, right? Because a lot of legal mumbo jumbo, it can get confusing at times, but I've already boiled the facts down to what they really are. Okay. So here's what it said. On July 25th, the undersigned disclosed sensitive information to counsel R. Kelly Daryl McDavid and Milton Brown regarding a child victim. Okay, so this is the government's motion to seal. So they're saying this did contain information about minor victims. Okay. They marked it sensitive pursuant to paragraph 3 of the protective order governing discovery. Okay. On August 4th, counsel for R. Kelly indicated that she intended to file a discovery motion seeking additional information about the disclosure. The undersigned indicated to R. Kelly's counsel in several communications. Right? Let's get into this last one here. Kelly filed a motion for disclosure. The motion should be filed under seal pursuant to certain rule as it relates to information about a child victim. The child victim also has rights under this code, and R. Kelly's counsel does not agree that the motion should be filed under the seal. The undersigned advised R. Kelly's lawyers that should the filing be made on the public docket, the undersigned would take efforts to seal the filing until the issue of the propriety of publicity disclosing of information would be resolved. Okay, so let me tell you what this is in layman's terms, right? Basically, she's playing. His attorney likes playing on the emotions of the Beehive to distract from the severity of his transgressions and what he's done, the fact that he's not innocent, and the fact that he is guilty. And this does nothing but get the R. Kelly fans all sorts of. I mean, it gets them erect, okay. And if that woman, it's late. Y'all know I get kind of explicit. But these women, albeit they be old women that R. Kelly's not interested in, it gets them kind of moist. It gets them wet. It gets them tingly down there. It's really unfortunate. So she's writing the court saying, hey, release this motion. The court's like, no, it includes information about minors, and we can't let this information about this minor victim out. Hello, right? The person who was a minor at that time. So whenever R. Kelly's attorney gets up and says, the government's trying to, litigate in secrecy. They're keeping secrets from you all, guys. And you go to Beehive. Yeah, that's not what's going on. What's going on is they need to protect sensitive information. But the Beehive has been really excited today. They're like a beehive, They never quite get calm. But when his attorney decides to hit it upside the head with some ridiculous information, they get all excited. They get the buzzing extra louder and doing all of this extra stuff. That's essentially what it is. They're not going to unseal the motion because it contains sensitive information. Okay? Period, point blank. Period, point to the blank. Tired of R. Kelly information. And I got another R. Kelly story to put out tomorrow. Lord have mercy, it don't make no sense. Let's get into the next situation, okay? The next situation, everybody's been hearing about NeYo, right? NeYo. Him and this. Okay, yeah, I said NeYo, not Leo. You see him looking around on the back? Okay. Okay. I get it. So let's get into the information about NeYo's wife in this restraining order. A lot of you all haven't heard that NeYo's wife has filed a restraining order, right? And the reason why is because a lot of people aren't reading the documents as closely as they could or they should be, right? But let's get down to it because there is some truth to this, okay? So NeYo's wife did file for a restraining order within this divorce paperwork. I have seen pictures of the baby. I've seen the side woman. The side woman does look just like his wife. I ain't even gonna stunt you, right? He definitely has a type. And matter of fact, I can go ahead and put him and his this is NeYo and his wife, but this is NeYo's wife next to the side woman who has had the side baby. Okay. So when we're talking about this situation, NeYo and his wife have been married since 2016. I know you're not about to sit up here and start chewing cords. NeYo and his wife have been married since 2016. There was a divorce filed a while ago in the past amongst this union. NeYo was the one who filed for that divorce a while ago. Obviously, it never happened. However, here we are at divorce round 2. Now, all of this stuff, they live in Georgia, so it's based off of Georgia law. This is the part where you need to listen, and you need to listen closely. Okay? What I'm going to put on the screen right now are images of both of their maternity pics. And the time frame is what's really damning about this, okay? This is NeYo's wife, Crystal Smith. You can see this is March 31st of 2021. This is her pregnant last year, holding her stomach, right? March 31st of last year. You see that? We get down here to the side woman, and we can see her date when she was pregnant holding her tummy was February 20th, okay? So between March 31st and February 20th, NeYo had 2 women pregnant at the same time last year, which is pretty foul and pretty disgusting. But hey, that's who he is. That's how he rolls. Okay. Now let's get into this Georgia law information with regards to this protective order. So again, this is based on Georgia law. On the General Civil and Domestic Relation Case Filing Information Form, it was found that NeYo's wife filed for a family violence petition, right? A family violence petition. Now in Georgia, there are 3 different types of family violence petitions that you can file. The 3 different types are as follows. It's a petition for a temporary protective order, a petition for a stalking protective order, or a petition for dating violence protective order. We're not sure which one of the 3 NeYo's wife filed for, but she did file for one. And I did lay my eyes on the document today, so it's definitely true. Who knows why she filed a restraining order on NeYo? We don't know. We remember that long statement she put out a while ago, basically saying that he sleeps with prostitutes, unprotected. These women sell their bodies to him. I want no parts. I'm heartbroken, but I choose myself and I choose my health over this distress over here. And I'm paraphrasing, but this is essentially what she said. She basically told people to stop sending me videos and pictures of him cheating. What he does is no longer my business. I'm moving on. Okay. So again, this was information that I was able to see on the General Civil and Domestic Relation Case Filing Information Form. Okay. A family violence petition. So I hope they're okay. I hope that she's safe if she's filing this, especially if it's not frivolous. You know, sometimes people file frivolous things just to, you know. And I'm not saying that's the case here. However, taking all things into consideration, if there's a legitimate threat here, I do hope that her and her family are okay, right? So obviously she's filing for divorce. He's been cheating for a while, and it's no secret. It's no secret that NeYo has been cheating for a while. And it seemed that his wife, Crystal, really was willing to deal with that. His wife was really, really, really willing to deal with that. But this side baby, this last side baby is, I guess, just something that she's not willing to deal with anymore. Okay. The baby is actually over 1 year old right now. The thing about it is NeYo was liking the pictures from the woman's page of her holding her belly and everything else. And they actually follow one another on Instagram, him and the side woman, right? So he's liking the side woman's pictures. They follow one another on social media. When his wife released a statement on Instagram about how basically NeYo sleeps with prostitutes and don't send me anything else, what he does is his business. I'm doing me. I'm not accepting this disrespect anymore. NeYo liked that picture as well. Okay. Here's the part where we get into the juiciness. We're talking about how much is NeYo's wife asking for, and Well, actually, what is all that she's asking for, right? Number one, she's asking for alimony because she's completely unemployed and 100% dependent upon NeYo, as they agreed that she would be a stay-at-home mom and tend to the children. You know, he's a singer, he's a producer, an artist. He does a lot of different things, and they agreed she'd be a stay-at-home mom, and they've had 3 children since they've been married in 2016. She's asking that he cover all of the attorney fees. The attorney fees are $114,000, $114,466. Okay, basically like 115 stacks. She's also asking for primary custody of the children. She's asking for shared joint legal custody. She's asking for a sufficient amount of child support. She also claims that she purchased a property separate to the marriage, and she wants to leave with all of that property intact because she purchased that property separate to the marriage, right? So she doesn't want to have to split that with him. And quite frankly, she shouldn't. He's the breadwinner, okay? He's a millionaire. She's also asking for a temporary hearing in 30 days. Okay. So someone said it might be her karma for picking with the ex-wife. Oh, yikes. This is a lot. $114,000. Not to mention she's asking for about 20% of her attorney fees so that she can pay them at least a small amount of what they need now. Okay, 20 or 25% of the attorney fees she's asking for right now, which is around about $20,000. Because of course they need something to get started. And she's asking that he covers it all. She's also asking that any debt that he might have that she not be responsible for, right? And she's entitled to this separation if the marriage is beyond repair and or if he steps outside the marriage, which of course he's done. So it's irreconcilable. Okay. How you get him is how you lose him. People say. Akata says thePLAINESTjane be breaking it down. Look, I try. You know, I knew this was going to be a heavy show, right? All right. So we've got a couple more things that we need to discuss. What I'm gonna do is this. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this commercial really quick. We're going to be right back in less than, it's around about like 60 seconds. Okay. Make sure y'all drop some pancakes in the chat. If you haven't already taken the time to hit the thumbs up button, I don't know what you're waiting for.
Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to grow up. Grow up. Tired of telling y'all to grow up. Y'all need to stop it. I'm tired of it, y'all. You ain't finna work me out.
Stop playing with me. Hit thumbs up on the video, okay? Unless you want to fight, I can kick you off the bus right now, okay? And next time you get on the bus, I'm not going to let you drink. I'm not going to let you smoke, right? Hit the thumbs up button. It's free as hell. Listen, feel free, right? This is not going to be one of them videos that YouTube is banging with, okay? We talked about some serious things, especially when we talked about Breonna Taylor and Brittney Griner. They're not going to give me no money for this video. So it's appreciated, but not required, okay? The Cash App is here on the screen. It's also down below in the description box. Feel free to send a Cash App, okay? Or a Super Chat or a Super Thanks. Or if today wasn't your payday, that's cool. Just hit the thumbs up button because it's free to donate in that way as well. We're going to be right back after this short commercial break. And I'll see you then. Put some pancakes in the chat, all right?
So let's see if you're really about it. If you've been serious about what you've been saying about wanting to support more Black-owned businesses, here's your chance. I found a spot for us to grab our hats, hoodies, affordable electronics, phone accessories, and gadgets from. It's over on edwerso.com. That's EDWERSOW.com. Grab something for your hubby, your wife. Hey, I ain't encouraging that side chick behavior, but it's just in time for the holidays. So head on over there and grab your AirPod cases, hoodies, and affordable electronics. That's edwerso.com, EDWERSOW.com. And I'll see you over there. It's time to face it, boo. Your product needs more exposure. If you want to see your ad here on my channel, be sure to shoot an email over to yt.theplainestjane@gmail.com and let's chat. But if you're new in my neighborhood here on YouTube, hey, I'm the Plainest Jane, and I provide coverage and commentary on trending stories, viral events, and Black culture. I definitely appreciate you stopping through and hitting that subscribe button if you like more of my particular brand of syrup.
And we're back. Here go Leo thinking something about him. What? What do you want, Leo? And what's that? Can you elaborate? And what is it? What is it? See, you be holding up the show for nothing. You either going to talk for the people or you're not. You need to talk for them. Oh, okay. I see. I see some bagels in the chat too. Okay. Okay, hungry. Yes, bagels. I love me a good bagel. Child, don't get me started. All right, we back. It's 180 of us here at 1 o'clock in the morning. Let's get it. Let's keep going through these topics. Okay. Let's keep going. All right, it's time to get to the pox of the monkey, child. The pox of the monkey, the pox of the monkey. Are y'all scared? Are you worried? Are you worried about the new panorama strutting through the Soul Train line? Okay. Because it's clearly the pox of the monkey at this point. The pictures are horrifying. They're horrifying. Okay? They look crazy. Do they not? Do they not? Look. I wish there was a lot more information available about. No. I'm not showing it. I'm not showing it. I don't have time for that. What do you call it when you see a whole bunch of little bumps or holes and you start itching or something? I have that. I can't look at a whole bunch of little nasty looking spots. I start to itch. I'm not showing y'all no pictures of that. Please don't be alarmed. No. We all gonna get into some data and some information, but I'm not showing you none of that shit. No, sir. We ain't got time for that. Okay? But I'm scared of it. I ain't gonna lie. Okay? I ain't gonna lie. Polio, monkeypox. What's next? Shut it down, Joe. Stimmy me up. Okay? Because New York's health department, which I'm gonna get on them in one of the next stories. They're urging all New Yorkers, including kids, to get vaccinated against polio right away if they haven't been already, following the case in Rockland County. The polio virus was found in wastewater samples from early June, according to the health department. Okay? I'm still very scary about it. If you follow me on Twitter, shout out to you. The heebie-jeebies. Tryphobia. That's what it's called. It came from Denmark. Oh, we about to get into Denmark in a second, because we already talk about these. Let me see. What am I going to call it? Because I really don't want to say VAX, because they start putting all types of labels and stuff on the videos. Let's just call it the shot, right? We'll just call it the shot, right? The cure for it. So it's been declared a public health emergency. The pox of the monkey have been declared a public health emergency as of Thursday. Now, I'm concerned, and I would like more data about the transmission of it. Because initially, we were told that it was based on intimate contact, bedding, towels, very close proximity, kissing. And now we see it's not necessarily based on intimacy, because there are lots of kids getting it. So I know that there was a lot of stigma surrounding homosexual men. And this is coming out by legitimate health official organizations. I never spoke on that because I feel like it's kind of, and I'm glad I didn't. And I'm just glad I didn't, right? I even had a coworker who is a male, who's a part of the LGBT community, who was kind of making a joke about it. And I'm like, that's your class of people. I don't find that funny. You might be able to find it funny, but you won't catch me laughing with you about it, so that you can go to HR and say I was laughing at, you know what I mean? I'm not commenting on that. And I feel like my apprehension was worth it because you got children in schools getting this stuff too. So it's clearly not based on that. What are we doing here? What are the preventative measures that we can engage in to avoid this? Shout out to Danny in the building, okay? Somebody said I'd rather have COVID before I have. Hello, I would rather, y'all know I had COVID around about between December, January. It's like a really intense flu. But there's just a lot going on with this. So what I want to do is I do want to get into some data and information. The transmission stuff, it really does seem to still be up in the air. You know, at this point, they're talking about just like close contact. They're encouraging you to use hand sanitizer. Masks don't seem to be, it doesn't seem to be airborne, right? It seems to be based on maybe touch or leftover skin cells, right? Is my thought. But they're basically saying close contact. But if the kids go back to school on August the 10th, so what are we doing to alleviate any of this? It's really difficult to say, but what I do want to talk about are the shots, the cures to it, and how the United States responded to it, and what we can kind of look forward to as it pertains to trying to prevent ourselves from getting this, okay? So let's get into this data and this information about it. And yes, let's take a look at this guy on the screen who is how I feel about the monkeypox. Okay. So the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, they waited more than 3 weeks after the first confirmed case of the pox of the monkey in the United States to order bulk stocks of the cures, the shots, the vaccines that the government owns and stores in Denmark to be bottled and sent to the United States for distribution, okay? Now, in part, the United States did this out of concern that once those, see, I hate saying the V word, once those vaccines were taken out of bulk storage, they said that they would lose years of shelf life, right? So our health is at risk. They're worried about shelf life. I guess after the first case of it, they didn't really take it serious. They didn't take it as serious. They felt like they were going to lose some shelf life. Here's what the government said. They said, we were thoughtful about using the bulk vaccines because once you remove it from bulk, you lose years of shelf life, end quote. Now, here's what public health experts had to say. And this is for people who want to know, like, listen, because I want to know as much as possible about it because it looks horrifying to be on the receiving end of such a disease. It really does. So public health experts have been scrutinizing the government's decision because based on their observations, the country doesn't have enough vaccines in hand to contain the spread. Now, when the first confirmed case of the monkeypox emerged on May 18th of this year, the country only had 2,400 doses of the vaccine in the strategic national stockpile. In subsequent days, the Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response ordered 72,000 doses of the vaccine, which were already bottled and ready to be distributed, to be sent from Denmark to the United States. But the first time, the ASPR, the Administration of Strategic Preparedness and Response, ordered a government-owned bulk supply of the vaccines to be bottled and sent to the United States, which were 500,000 doses in total. It wasn't until June the 10th, according to the agency. But by this point, there were fewer than 50 confirmed cases of the mpox in the United States. So those doses literally have not even arrived to the United States yet, as the pox of the monkey cases continue to climb the country. In July alone, the United States ordered an additional 5 million doses of the bulk supply of vaccines to be bottled and sent to the United States. But because of the lengthy bottling process, those also will not start arriving to the United States until later this year, with many of the doses not scheduled to arrive until even 2023. Now, of the 6.9 million pox of the monkey vaccines that the United States has secured so far, 1.1 million have been offered to states and local jurisdictions. Tamika's then said, wrap me in bubble wrap. I know that's right. Are y'all ready to get it? Look, I want to know. The pox of the monkey is not a new disease, right? So, okay. I'm still curious to know about some of the side effects. And I think that I'll probably fall asleep tonight researching them. Because I want to get it. I do. I'll be honest with y'all. I have not gotten the Rona vaccine. I personally don't trust it. And I had it once, in December. The pox of the monkey seems worse. Are you ready for the vaccine of the monkeypox? Do you care about the side effects? Do you not? Do you just want to get it? Let's do a vote in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if you are down to get the pox of the monkey vaccine right away. A 1 if you want to get it. If you're going to get it, you don't care. A 2 if you don't trust it. A 3 if you are apprehensive and you'd like to know more about the side effects first before you make a move. I'm going to put that poll on the community tab tomorrow. Let me put down this timestamp so I can remember what these little options were. Hour 36 minutes. Yeah, because how do y'all feel about it? Thank you so much, beautiful Crimson, for joining the channel. For becoming a backstage sticky, make sure you check the members only community tab so you can see your members only posts and your members only videos. We're backstage a lot with our members only. Joe asleep. Oh God, I'm glad one of the moderators got that. Okay, let's see what y'all votes are. No Maxine 1. What we got going on? 1s, 2s, 1s, 2s, 3s. Hell no. 3s, 2s, 2s, 3s. Oh my God. You know what's really interesting? Nope, not getting it 2. However, I did get. Okay. Got you, Danny. You know what's interesting? It was barely any 1s here. That's interesting. That's interesting. Too much corruption in this country to automatically. Hello. My job forces me to get tested for the Rona every single week because I'm not vaccinated. So I literally go get tested every weekend for the Rona because I did this. So yes, side effects. So y'all will get it and still be liable. Hello. I was looking at something online earlier today and it was like the government is trying to get y'all to get the shot for the Rona to stop the transmission of the Rona when the shot doesn't stop the transmission of the Rona. Like, yeah, Joe said, I've got boosted. Here he go, with it. It's like, it doesn't prevent it, I don't know. Some 2s, No, you're not with it. Yeah, I plan on doing as much research as possible. It looks mortifying to have that. It looks really, really, really mortifying. Okay. This is why the smallpox vaccine was required for all years ago. It's related to smallpox. I need to do more research. I can be honest, I'm ignorant to smallpox. Are smallpox related to chickenpox? I had the chickenpox once before in kindergarten. Are they related? I don't know. I can be honest and say I'm ignorant about it. So that's why I don't want to speak, too much about it. But I'm curious to know how y'all feel about it, because Lord knows I'm apprehensive. It's nice to know I'm not the only one that's apprehensive about it. Okay. Oof, yeah, you can't. The pictures look crazy. The pictures look absolutely bananas. Okay, it really does. So, Panorama told us already you can still look cute with Rona. Not you can still look cute with the Rona. Okay, so here's the next thing that I want to get into, the next subject. The teacher shortage. It's really unfortunate. I low-key understand a little bit why. I do understand why we have a teacher shortage. Okay, so there are lots of news reports right now about the teacher shortage. And to be quite honest, to give you a couple stats, 500,000 fewer teachers across the country, right? There are the teacher shortage is so severe that there are 500,000 fewer teachers across the country. There's been a large decline and a free fall amid COVID of teachers. Okay. And so it's kind of like, it sucks. There's literally people who are quitting their teaching job to go work at Walmart as a supervisor. And they make a significant amount more money working at Walmart as a supervisor than they make being a teacher. I mean, literally molding the minds of tomorrow. Okay? Imagine the scars that it's going to leave on your skin. That's a good point. You can get severe deformity with monkeypox. You can even get it in your eyes. Oh, Lord. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. There's here in, it's not even here. Our number isn't the highest. The highest number that I saw was Florida. Florida has a real bad shortage, right? And this is a nationwide thing. This is all across the United States. And in Florida, they are literally down 9,000 teachers. Mind you, school starts in 5 days, technically. If we're going to act like it's still Friday, 6 days. School starts on August the 10th. And there's a shortage of 500,000 fewer teachers here in the United States. Florida's missing 9,000. I couldn't imagine what Texas is missing, although I've seen that Texas does have a teacher shortage as well. I just don't have the number for it. It's crazy. I mean, to think that teachers who have a much more difficult job teaching children rather than supervising adults at a store. Think about it. The difference between supervising children versus adults. And don't get me wrong, like, you can have some pretty rowdy coworkers, but there's nothing like teaching kids who still need some taming, some training, some knowledge and information. So, it sucks. They do not pay these teachers what they are worth. Daycare workers have the luxury of charging as they see fit, considering all they do to take care of children all day long. But that's because daycare workers get to choose their own price. They're entrepreneurs, essentially. You're talking about somebody that's got their own legitimate daycare that's passed inspection and all that other stuff. They're entrepreneurs. They can choose their own prices. They can gouge. I know some parents that pay $600, $500 a week for their child under 5 years old for daycare. But teachers who are literally molding the minds of tomorrow get paid pennies on the dollar. I forget what state it was. I was doing research and they've lowered the bar so bad because they're so short on teachers. You used to need a college degree at least an associate, but of course a bachelor's, right? There are some states who you don't even need a college degree. Do I smell something cooking through the vents? Hold up. Something in the air fryer. Somebody is woke downstairs cooking. I smell it. Let me hurry up this video, child, because let me tell you something. It's Friday and I'm ready to. All right. So no, the food smell distracted me. Pardon me. I'm sorry. But no, some states honestly are. They're not requiring a college degree of any sort anymore. A high school diploma is enough to get you teaching in high schools. And I think that's backwards as hell, because instead of paying these teachers what they want and what they need, you're taking fresh, GED or high school diploma holders because you can pay them less, right? You can pay them less. And best believe, because you're paying them less, you can expect less. So instead of raising the bar, and I'm about to get into a stat from New York City, from Rikers Island too. Instead of paying them what they're worth, you decide to lower the bar and say, you know what, high school grads can do this job. It sucks. It sucks. They get low pay. They get even worse benefits. There are some people who literally pick up trash Monday through Friday who get paid more than teachers. How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? And we wonder why this generation is so effed up. And you know what? Honestly, I can see why people don't want to necessarily teach anymore. Not only are they not paid enough, right? Sometimes the more you pay, the more is required of you. But this generation is off the hook. And so are the parents. I couldn't imagine having to deal with a child with no home training and then having to deal with the parent who don't want to come to parent-teacher conference, who keeps sending their, rude child to school. No. The violent, again, these kids, for the sake of a TikTok, for the sake of an Instagram, they slapping teachers. I remember the trend a while ago. They slapped an old black lady because it was a slap challenge on TikTok. This woman is old enough to be my grandmother. And if she's old enough to be my grandmother, she's old enough to be their great grandmother. And they busy sitting there slapping them. Absolutely not. I wouldn't want my mom, my grandma, nobody working in that school like that. Because these kids, they don't have any remorse for what they do. Nope. I had a guest on the show. This episode never aired. It might not. I think clips might air. When I was doing the Growing Up Black series, and she was telling me about how she was a teacher, and she lasted for like 6 months, a little less than 6 months, because she was like, these kids, they have no care, no disregard. They do not listen. The parents care less than the children care. What do you do? What do you do when the kids and the parents, when neither one of them care? What can you do as a teacher? You can't do anything. You can't do anything. It's more profitable for most people to be ignorant, thus low quality public schools, good old capitalism. Yeah. These parents and these kids will make you catch a kid. They will. Because, I mean, the teachers are expected to not hit the children back, i.e. to not defend themselves when they get slapped out of them. Nope. I'm not signing up for abuse for low to no pay. Absolutely not. I'm not sure how much you would have to pay me to actually get hit, but it would have to be more than, $30,000, $40,000 a year. It'd have to be at least 6 figures to accept abuse, and more than the 6 figures in the 100. Let's start it with a 2 or a 3 or something. I'm not even sure. I just, it's too much. It's too much. Okay. Just Jay is on it. Thank you so much to my moderators who are getting these bots out of here. Okay. Let's see. You couldn't pay me. I'd be squaring up. I know that's right. Sunstar, you a trip. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. This generation is different. And why my generation, we were kind of, I feel like we were off the hook in our own way. Nothing like these kids, though. Nothing like these kids. Nothing like this generation at all. Nonetheless, let's take it to New York. We got 2 stories out of New York, and I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's going on up in New York because they playing with us. Hit thumbs up, drop some pancakes in the chat. Let's go.
I want to create a space where we can talk authentically as Black people about our experiences growing up Black. We take a trip down memory lane from the pain to the jokes to the cultural nuances that a lot of us share and how they correlate to the way we navigate adulthood. Welcome to the Growing Up Black series.
We're back. Akata says, sis keep threatening to present this series. Look, this series was literally just about to drop. Like, just about to drop 2 days after the channel got terminated. That was going to be the premiere of this series. So it's safe to say when the channel got deleted, it discombobulated the hell out of me. So this is still a series that I'm not going to let go of. I'm just reimagining it a little bit as I've had to reimagine everything upon my return to YouTube. So it's coming. I promise you. I just want to make sure it's done right. And, you know, we're more than 6 months out from when I was the initial debut of it. So there's a more of an updated way that I imagine present. I just imagine a little bit different than what I imagined it then. Although both were great, right? But child, we gonna get it. We gonna get it. We gonna get it. Okay. Yeah. Acting up in church, not tolerated. Do not do that. Let's be ready to get that ass. Okay. Now let's take it up to New York. Okay. Let's go up to New York and talk about Mayor Eric Adams. Okay. There's a jail up in New York called Rikers Island. And it's a lot of stuff going on right now. Have y'all heard about Rikers Island? Drop a 9 in the chat if you've heard about Rikers Island. Okay. Now here's what's going on right now. Okay. Up in New York. So at this jail, number one, they've been saying for the longest time that they're going to shut this jail down. Okay. This jail, there have been lots of protests and public discourse about this jail, how corrupt it is, and the oversight is certainly lacking. It's honestly, according to the information, it's one of the most deadliest jails. There are concerns about the safety and the oversight of its prisoners. 12 people died in this jail in 2021 last year. making 2021 the deadliest year in the city's jail system since 2016. So far this year, there have been 7 people to die, and the 7th person died less than a month after the previous person died. Okay, let's go over some of the information and what's going on in this jail right now. Okay, we can see in this information, it says Eric Adams claims he ended solitary confinement, but his staff have been secretly locking people in caged shower stalls instead of cells. Elijah Muhammad was there for days and he died shortly after awaiting trial. We get to the next slide and it says New York City spends $500,000 a year to incarcerate one person on Rikers Island. Okay. I see based off the vote, a lot of you all knew about this place. Okay, got you. Okay. 500, that literally $500,000 a year for one person at Rikers Island. Meanwhile, New York City spends only $30,000 per student in the New York City public schools. You know, what this says to me is that this prison is literally a multi-billion-dollar industry. I get it. You feel like you've arrested some people and they're in jail and they deserve it. We know the justice system isn't always fair. However, that doesn't mean that when you get these lives in your hand that you can just neglect them and treat them however you want. People in jail still have rights. They do. Even R. Kelly. Oh, it pains me to say that. It hurts so much to say R. Kelly's got rights, but no, keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Like, my feelings aside, between covering the trial, people in jail, they do still have rights. Okay. And the sad part about being in a place like this is they feel like they own you. The facility, the COs, they feel like they own you. It's slavery. It's slavery all over again. Please don't think that the prison industrial complex isn't about slavery, because it is. It is. And don't even get me started on the structure of the public school system, because it's very similar to it, but that's a conversation for another day. However, the reason why being in prison is literally slavery is because you are a part of a system where you are forced to provide manual labor for little to no pay. We're talking like Value City, Victoria's Secret used to contract through the jails. You're assembling furniture for all these different, stuff that people would be getting paid $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 for. You're doing for $2 a week. Those are scraps. That is slavery. You belong to them and you have to work. And if you don't work, the punishment gets worse. It is a requirement that you go there and you work for free, for pennies on the dollar. It is slavery. However, that does not mean that you get to have these people in these jails and there are all these mysterious and unexplained suicide attempts and overdoses. How the hell is somebody in a damn Rikers Island or any jail overdosing, ODing? Where do they get the drugs from? Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. And it doesn't surprise me that this is happening on a mayor's watch who is connected to the flashy pastor, Bishop Lamar Whitehead. Y'all keeping people in prison, solitary confinement in shower stalls. You talking about cruel and unusual. Either they got the death penalty or they didn't. Either they signed up. Either they're going to be executed or they're not. You can't just take it upon yourself to treat these people this way. This is crazy. This is crazy. Thank you so much, Bora Bora, for the Cash App. I really do appreciate that. But yeah. Ooh. So this is crazy. The corruption runs deep. It's bigger than paying CEOs money. Yeah, it's slavery. It's slavery. It's deeper than that at Rikers. They're extremely short-staffed. I mean, they're short-staffed, but does that explain the solitary confinement, though? And there are a lot of other deaths there. The statistics might be skewed. What statistics specifically? Is it the death count? Because, I mean, these pictures are pretty obvious. If they banned solitary confinement, why would these CEOs be taking it upon themselves to lock people in showers? Not to mention, I was reading stuff earlier today I wasn't even going to get into, but I just so happen to remember it. When they go to do their inspections there, I mean, there's feces lining the floors, the shower, nothing's being clean, nothing. It's literally not a safe place. It's not a safe place. But like I said, they feel like they own you when you're there. You're unfortunately a slave because it models slavery, and it's almost identical. And they conveniently are forgetting the fact that they do have a responsibility to keep you alive and to tend to your health. They do. They do have that. I get it. They may feel like you're the dirtiest person in the world, and you might have done some really egregious things. That doesn't mean they get the right to just let you die or to contribute to your dying. It just doesn't. But you know what? New York, it's a beast. It's its own. It is very much its own place. Okay. Let's continue with New York. This story right here, we talked about this in the Discord. Listen, this entire city's government needs a revamp. Everything's crazy here. I'm not surprised at all. Okay, so you're in New York. New York has always been one of those places you can't pay me to live. They can be sued by the inmates. That's easy to say. I feel like there's always going to be something to get in the way of that. The guards start finding out you're talking to an attorney. That's going, first of all, the things that have gotten the worst for the employees, for the inmates that need to sue, they're gone, right? But let alone you're still living and you're trying to sue the facility that you're still being housed in. You know that the guards and the whole system are going to do everything that they can do to make sure you're ill, you're sick, they beat you up, they drug you. Who's to say that some of these deaths between last year and this year weren't, from or of people who were in attempts to sue the facility? You know what I mean? So when it's time for you to get visitors, there's a lot. I watch a lot of prison and drug shows, and I've spoken to a lot of people. I'm actually friends with quite a few people who have done some hard time in there. And when they talk about just the different things that go on there, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. They say I'm in New York City. I'm telling you it's more than that. Well, tell me what it is. There are workers speaking about their work conditions as well, but they need to shut it down. They need to shut it down. Seriously. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So if it's not safe for the staff or the inmates, why is it so open? You know why? I think it's so open because $500,000 per inmate. Are you serious? All I want is a $10,000 scholarship to go back and take a couple more classes of college. They giving $500,000. They spent $500,000 on crooks. Yeah, it's there's too much corruptness going on within the whole system. Whereas though $500,000 is necessary for one inmate, I've never heard of numbers like this before. These numbers are crazy. $500,000. So for every 2 inmates in Rikers is $1 million. Does that make sense? How many people are there? How many millions of dollars are being wasted by housing people in that expensive place? And how are those funds being allocated? How are those funds being allocated? If the staff is complaining, it means it's not going to the staff. They're not paying enough to get more staff in there. So is what? 150,000 of it going to the no, there's something not right here, and the mayor needs to do something about it. But again, Mayor Adams is friend with Bishop Bling Bling, AK Scamming Pastor, AK Flashy Pastor, AK whatever the hell you want to call him. It's not a surprise to me that these funds aren't being handled in the correct way. Not a surprise, not one bit. Not one bit. Okay. Let's move on to the next story. Okay. I saw somebody in the chat say, I love your top. Thank you. I think this was from Macy's and I caught it on the clearance rack for like $11. Child, let's move on to the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene and how they played in our faces. Y'all see that title? Y'all see what it is? Okay. Let's take a look at this. There's really only one part that we kind of need to zoom in on here. So let me just blow this up for you. But you can see this is a New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. They released an alert number 17. It says extreme heat event, August 4th and 5th, help prevent heat-related deaths. It says, please distribute to all clinical staff in primary care, family medicine, internal medicine, pharmacy, and emergency medicine. Okay. Dear colleagues, a heat advisory is in effect for Thursday, August 4th and Friday, August 5th, with heat indices, forecasted to be over 100 on Thursday and the upper 90s on Friday. Extreme heat is the deadliest type of extreme weather. It can cause hypothermia and worsen existing medical conditions and mental health problems. Structural racism and the resulting social and economic inequities increase the risk of heat stress for Black New Yorkers. So it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. You wanting us now, like, look, it's going to get hot as hell on Thursday and Friday. Let me tell you this about Black people. Because they deal with racism, because they deal with social and economic inequities, it increases the risk of heat stress for Black New Yorkers. Wait, hold on. So, structural racism. Why wouldn't you just send out the fucking heat advisory and not leave that out of it? Let me break this shit down to you. Let me break it down, because y'all have lost your minds. The New York Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, y'all have lost your fucking minds. You thought we wouldn't read this shit, but bitch, we can read. We can read. Let me tell you why. Y'all putting the weep. Let me go to the bush, because bitch, they got the game fucked up. They got it fucked up.
It was gone.
Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
Y'all even got the cat worked up, right, Leo? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. We worked up because we Black over here. Leo's Black. I'm Black. Y'all thought we couldn't read. We can read. So structural racism and the social and economic inequities increase the risk of heat stress. So we get hotter and because of racism and the other stuff, right? what y'all basically saying is because racism exists, these niggas are angry. Don't mess with them in the heat. That's what y'all saying. You at risk if you mess with these niggas in the heat. What's going on here? Look. If we look at the very next sentence, it says that Black people are twice as likely to die from heat as white New Yorkers. So now we twice as likely to die from heat. Blacks are twice as likely to die from heat. What happened to our sun's sustainability? What happened to that? You know, a lot of people talk about our skin, our melanin. Hello, you know, our bodies over time evolve. And, you know, we spent a lot of time out in the sun, on the field, picking the cotton. What happened to our heat sustainability, right? According to the New York Health Department, it's true that we are twice as likely to suffer from heat strokes and things, right? Black people are more susceptible to die of heat stroke. But according to other studies, according to the CDC, the people who are actually most likely to be susceptible to heat strokes are infants and children up to 4 years old, people who are 65 and older, people who are overweight, and people who are ill and take certain medications. Here's the problem I have with this shit. It's hot. You give a heat advisory, and then you basically say, look, because of racism, which has got these Black people who are treated, let's pull it up. Because of racism and the social and economic inequities, the risk of heat stress, you know, it increases the risk of heat stress for Black New Yorkers. Here's what I need to say to you. The bottom line is y'all thought we wouldn't read that shit. Heat and racial tension, yes, it is a bad mix. Do not call me a nigga on a day when it's 115 degrees, bitch, because you're going to get what you're going to get. However, any sort of disrespect mixed with the heat is a bad combination. Is it not? Is it not? The nerve of you. The nerve of you. To say, listen, be careful of these Blacks because they heat stresses a lot because of that. So the health department acknowledges all of the you know, the adverse things that we have to deal with. The racism, the police brutality, the poverty, the economic disadvantages. The health department recognizes all of these things. How come the health department can't whisper in this? I mean, stop. Stop. Because you'll have some people in some towns, racism doesn't exist. Not here. This isn't a racist town. According to the health department and this motherfucking shit, it's a thing. This was a dog whistle, like, stay away from me. And don't get me wrong, yes, stay away from us with that racist shit. However, y'all making us out to be angry people. Like in the heat, these Black folk are more angry because they twice as likely. Give us some free air conditioning. What's going on? What's going on? Did they think we wouldn't read it? Shit, did I block the right person? All right, I did. Yeah, you know, this is worded in a very weird way. The majority of violence comes from police brutality. The health department should put out an alert for that. Hello? Tell them, Sunstar. Put out an alert for that. What's really going on? Child. Hey, Rashida, you late. We got into the slavery at work thing, child. That was a mindfuck. That was a mindfuck. All in of itself. If you turn on the news, you'll see that they ain't bugging. Child, I just can't believe that they included that, because anybody, you know, if you had somebody who wasn't Black, who was facing eviction in an abusive relationship, got 3 kids to raise, don't know where their next meal going to come from, in the heat, they would also have the same problems in the heat. The heat it does nothing but make your problems worse. Black people ain't the only people with problems in the heat. It brings problems and temperaments to a catastrophic boil, to be completely honest with you. But why would you put in there that Black people, especially with the this problem, and everybody got problems? The trailer parks exist. We're talking about New York. There's a lot of homelessness there. Like like everybody has their own batch of problems, and the heat makes it worse. Why would you put something like that? I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Okay? I'm not feeling it. It's 182 of us here right now. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button if you ain't hit it already. Where do you land with the New York Department of Health and Mental Hygiene and how they played in our faces? At least I think they played in our faces. Do me a favor, drop a 4 in the chat if you think that the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene played in our faces. 4 if you think they did. 5 if you think they said nothing wrong and they spoke facts. Any and all thoughts are appreciated down below. What we are going to do now, what we're going to do now is we're going to get into our Black History moment. Y'all know what time it is. Let's get it.
Now let's spend a little bit of time with our ancestors, or at least listening to them, because you know they always tell us you don't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. So let's get into a little bit of Black history with this Black History moment.
They got me in the system. Why they gotta do me like that?
I know I can be what I wanna be what I wanna be.
We've got a lot for y'all, which I don't cover.
And we're back. Let's get right into today's Black History moment. Now, I know today, according to when the show started, August 5th, right? But I want to talk about on this day in Black history, which was actually August 4th. And I really just want to talk about the plethora of people. So many people have literally died for our civil rights. They've died for our freedom, which is why it's so important to not take either one of those for granted. Your rights, what you can do, and just your natural born freedom. There are so many people of this day, age, and generation who are literally just signing their lives away to go to jail. We saw the young man who decided to shoot a McDonald's worker because his mom got cold fries. Well, he's in jail, and as soon as he was in custody, he confessed to murdering another person. So he's got 2 bodies. And then we found out yesterday we found out that the McDonald's employee who gave the cold fries was brain dead yesterday. And we find out today that he died. Okay? Over some cold fries, you're going to give your freedom away like that when there have been so many people who have died for art, and a Black man, right? You just got people signing their lives away to go to jail, just taking their freedom for granted. The only good thing about this is, well, you got a free place to stay and you want to get 3 meals a day. That's it. But I hope you're ready for everything else that jail comes with as well. You know, the stupidity and doing any old type of dumb thing, especially telling on yourself on social media, which is what a lot of people are doing. It's just crazy to me. And instead, we could be using that, that misplaced energy, that wasted energy that we use out in the streets, and use it to do something to better yourself, to better your family, or to better other Black people or the community, depending on whatever your skill set is. Mike Tyson knew he was an aggressive person. And although he might be a little dense at times, or at least he has been really dense at times, he had enough sense to know, I want to be aggressive. I'm naturally aggressive. Let me go put it in the ring. Muhammad Ali knew that he wanted to throw hands for a living too. But the beautiful part about Muhammad Ali is that he also became an advocate and a voice for the liberation and the rights of Black people. It all stemmed from somebody stealing his bike, Muhammad Ali. And he went home and told his peoples, they said, what you gonna do about it? He said, I want to beat his butt, sounding like a whole nerd, right? I want to beat his butt. They said, well, you better sign up for boxing. He signed up for boxing and hell, became the Muhammad Ali. Okay. So, even if you feel like I want to fight, I want to, go get your black belt, your jujitsu, do you this, do you that. Like, it's just, if you're aggressive, find an outlet for that. That's the bottom line. But I do want to talk about on this day in Black history as it pertains to August the 4th, right? I want to put this photo on the screen. So on August 4th, the bodies of 3 lynched civil rights workers, James Chaney, Michael Schwerner, and Andrew Goodman, were found after disappearing more than a month before. On June 21st, 1964, James Chaney, Michael Schwerner, and Andrew Goodman were tortured and murdered by the KKK with help from the deputy sheriff in Philadelphia. They were killed defending the right to learn and human rights for all. The 3 young men had traveled to Neshoba County to investigate the burning of Mount Zion Methodist Church, which had been a site of a freedom school. Now, while searching for the 3 civil rights workers, bodies of other African Americans were found, including Henry D. and Charles Moore. Now, let me just give you a little bit of information about them. I know sometimes Black history can be unsettling, but so is our present. So why not hear about the past? I feel like the keys to the future are in the past, and that's why I am enthralled by Black history. So when we talk about the bodies of the people who were found related to the last story, July 12th, 1964, the bodies of Charles Eddie Moore, who was a college student, and Henry Hezekiah D., who was a mill worker, they were both 19 years old, and they were from Franklin County, Mississippi. They were found. On May 2nd of 1964, they had been abducted by the KKK. They were tortured. They were drowned in the Mississippi River. Their bodies were found, but then they were ignored by the authorities because some were complicit with the horrific crime. Now, during the search for Freedom Summer volunteers, James Chaney, Andy Goodman, and Mickey Schwerner, okay? It wasn't until 4 decades later when Canadian filmmakers learned about and actively pursued the case, along with Thomas Moore, who was Charles' older brother, that charges were actually filed, right? So that's one tidbit of Black history. And I know it gets to be sad. We get to see all these different faces, and it's difficult to tell them apart or remember their stories. But history does nothing but repeat itself. In 2020, there was, and even still, right? But 2020, it was just, we had like the Sandra Bland situation. We had the Breonna Taylor situation, Ahmaud Arbery out in Sterling, Philando Castile, Ahmaud Arbery. It got to be so many. It's like, how can we remember all these names? And then you become a little bit numb to it for the sake of not wanting to soak all of that in. Everybody has a different way to cope with bad news. And I know for me, after I took in a few 3 or 4 in a month, I would see like new mugshot, and I just had to keep scrolling. I'm sorry. Because I just can't take in all of that sadness. You know what I mean? Some are selling cigarettes or CDs. Some are just reaching for their IDs out of their wallets, of which they were asked to retrieve because the cop is asking them for license and registration. The list really goes on and on. History does nothing but repeat itself. So that's a really unfortunate situation. But I do want to flip the script. And I do want to talk about something that is a little bit more positive. Somebody who actually changed the world, revolutionized the world. And we actually still utilize some of his technology, actually. Okay? So what I want to get into is a little bit of information about Benjamin Banneker. Okay? So when we talk about Benjamin Banneker, he literally created the first functioning clock in the United States entirely out of wood, which was so advanced that it kept accurate time for over 50 years. Okay? 50 whole years. He created a clock out of wood that was accurate as hell. Make it make sense. Okay? When you talk about, again, this is why I talk about sometimes when we want to call things ghetto and call it a hookup or whatever. Sometimes some things are ghetto. Other times, call it innovative. Try to replace the word ghetto with innovative and see if it fits in the situation, in the context in which you're using it in. Because we are a very innovative ass people. We are. Now, during his funeral, all of his belongings, including the clock, were destroyed in a mysterious house fire. But he wasn't just talented in the realm of time. He created his own almanacs as well, but he also helped survey and design Washington, D.C. Let me show you some of these maps. Stop thinking we ain't great. We're not capable of being scholars and just these nerdy, mega smart people. This is the work of Benjamin Banneker. He helped design the capital of the United States, not the capital of a state. Oh, no. No. The capital of the United States. Stop playing with us. And we are so much more than social media meltdowns, okay? If all we see is rapping and dying and Blueface and Krishan Rock and Sukihana and the City Girls, we would think that that's really all we are capable of, but that's not true. We are some very nerdy scholars too. Let's take the negative connotation off of nerdy because it's a good thing. Okay? It's a good thing. Benjamin Banneker, as I was telling you earlier, let me put this picture on the screen just to bring it home for you. He also created his own almanac. Okay? He created his own almanac. Just amazing. Just amazing. So, I mean, Benjamin Banneker, he was really that guy. He really was. Also, Stevie Wonder, he was really fond of him. The way I'm really fond of Harriet Tubman. She's like my favorite person to write about as it pertains to Black history. For Stevie Wonder, he actually put him in some music. In the song Black Man, Stevie Wonder actually sings about Benjamin Banneker, and he states in the quote, "First clock to be made in America was created by a Black man." If you recognize this cover art, this is the song where Stevie Wonder, a blind man, okay? Even a blind man can see the Black excellence exuding off of Benjamin Banneker, okay? Now, if that's not Black excellence, Stevie Wonder being able to see the excellence, I don't know what is. I really don't know what is, okay? I really don't. Someone said, What's an almanac? An almanac is an annual calendar containing important dates and statistical information such as astronomical data and tide tables. So it has a lot to do with how different elements of the world kind of tie into one another and work together, like time, dates, whatever. It's some nerdy shit. It's nerdy shit. Okay. And Benjamin Banneker, he was it. Okay. Akata says, Imhotep, Gary Bird helped write that song. Okay. Not Jane Butler, Harriet reincarnated. Okay. Period. Okay. So yeah, it's a big thing. You know what? People don't talk about almanacs anymore, believe it or not. People don't talk about encyclopedias either. You know what I mean? You remember when we were in school? I assume if you're watching my videos, right? She might be close to my age, around about. Do you remember when we were in school and we had to do projects and we had to go to the library to like literally pull encyclopedias and books to get information before the computers came along? Like now these students, they can sit in their room and do all the research they need to do for a paper. We had to literally go and find the info in libraries and all that other stuff. It was different. It was a different time. It was a different time. Calendar of days, weeks, months of the year. A record of various astronomical phenomena, often with climate information and seasonal suggestions for farmers and miscellaneous other data. Yeah, so it combined, it literally fused together time, weather, climate change, history, like it just a whole bunch of stuff. Farmer information. It's a lot. It's a lot. The math ain't math and said, wait, this live? Yeah, we live. We live right now. It's 2:01 in the morning in Baltimore. We live. Sunstar said, older than you, young and Jay. Yeah, I mean, look, because I remember it's so easy for these kids. I remember doing book reports and all other types of reports and having to go get the information from whole different buildings in the city, aka the library, right? A mess. It was different times. Different times. But look, Benjamin Banneker, he changed the world. And I love getting into Black history in every show if I can, right? If it's a show with several topics. Because it's important to understand where we came from and what we're capable of. And sometimes the Black history, it's gloomy, right? It's a lynching, it's a murder. But that's why I like to balance it out and put positive stuff there as well. If you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. And some of the best data that we have is history and what has happened. It helps us understand and predict and combat things happening in the present and in the future. And a lot of the stuff that's happening to us now, especially as it pertains to racial injustice, a lot of the stuff, if we study what our ancestors went through and so on and so forth, I feel like we'll find the answers as to how to combat some of these things by looking in the past. Doesn't mean we're going to duplicate what they did directly. No, sometimes we go back and we might see what they did right with our ancestors, what they did back in the 60s, 18, whatever, what they did right and what they did wrong, and make adjustments. And this is the reason why I love to talk about Black history. But nonetheless, look, it's 2:00 in the morning. It's time to get into the sticky note because I'm not jipping y'all out of that again. I know last time we got jipped out of the sticky note. So look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play this homage. Okay, we're going to pay homage to the channel members. Drop some pancakes in the chat. Use your special emojis if you are a channel member. We're going to be right back with the sticky note, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. All right.
thePLAINESTjane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some Black, and she said, loves me some Black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
So wait a minute, you ain't joined the channel yet so that you can access special perks over here with thePLAINESTjane?
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Ooh, watch this. Hey, I'm thePLAINESTjane. I'm a cultural commentator and informant, and I provide sticky coverage on trending stories, Black news, Black culture, and everyday topics with a sticky, abstract perspective. So get familiar with the perks. I've carefully curated all of these things, and it's just a little exclusive glaze to amplify the way that you express yourself. So get comfortable, get used to our official emoji over here. That is the pancake stack, because it's always sticky in Hollywood and in real life, and especially when you spend the time over here with the plainest Jane. Like I said, I hope you enjoy the exclusive glaze that I've provided for you to amplify the way you express yourself, and I hope you enjoy the digital vibe. Hey, listen, I always want you to keep it sticky, but be sure to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. But most importantly, I hope that you're feeling all right, and hopefully you've had some time to tackle some of your invisible problems. I know I got a couple of new subscribers, and I just want to say thank y'all. I really do appreciate you. And if you're not quite feeling all right, this channel right here, once you join, it's going to help you kick back and decompress always, but it'll also keep you in the know with what's happening with the best Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. So again, get comfortable. The first drink is on me, all right? Act like you got some sense, and I'll see you around. But don't forget to keep it sticky 24/7 by following me on Instagram, but hit that notification bell so that you always know when I upload and you get your dose of syrup first. Now, with all that stickiness being said, the most important thing I want you to remember about this neck of the woods and the plainest Jane is Black Lives Matter. And if you don't agree,
buy pumpkin. That would take you out. I don't play that shit.
Now you gotta go for real.
it's just that simple. Hey, look, whether you join or not, I do want you to stay beautiful, Black, and blessed. And just know I appreciate your support. I'm your girl, the plainest Jane. And let's see what's happening in these virtual streets. You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now.
And we're back. Oh, wait, let me turn my camera. Okay. Got the camera back on. Let's get into the sticky note of the day today. Those of you all who are familiar, you already know what a sticky note is. It is a motivational quote that I have crafted myself. And we're going to go ahead and get into it. I just want to give y'all a quick announcement. I should have announced this in the beginning. I have figured out how we're going to arrange the giveaway for the Beyonce boxes. So I'm excited to announce that. It's basically going to be in the form of magic numbers that I release in different videos. And if someone kind of has all of the magic numbers, then those are going to be the ones to get the boxes. So I'll explain that more in another video. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into this sticky note of the day.
The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy.
So today's sticky note is this, okay? More important than writing down your vision, it is imperative that you write down your execution tactic and commit it to memory. Because if you aren't actively executing actionable steps to reach your goals, then you're complacent and just dreaming about them. Okay? So don't just keep your vision in mind. You need to write down and commit to memory how you're going to execute to get that vision. You need actionable steps. Why? Because a goal without an action plan is literally just a dream. You're essentially standing still, you're daydreaming until you wake up and you realize that none of this is your reality. A lot of times we focus on the end goal of what we want, and we don't focus on the work that is required to put in to get that. We focus on the desired result instead of the work needed in order to attain the result. And sometimes when we talk about a goal without an action plan being just a dream, and you daydreaming because you stuck fantasizing about this dream instead of putting in the work in order to get yourself there, that is called escapism. If you spend more time daydreaming about it than putting in work to actually make that your reality, it's called escapism. And I get it, because escapism is very easy to do, especially when life is fucking you up, when life is giving you a hard time. It's easy to use your mind to just escape to a happier place, a place that you wish you were, a result, a goal, a vision that you wish you were able to attain right now. So instead, you spend all your time just daydreaming and fantasizing about it. But this sort of escapism, it will have you wasting valuable time. It'll have you wasting valuable time in a fantasy, gazing at your hypothetical life rather than transforming your reality into a life you never want to escape. The life you've envisioned, the life attached to the completion of your goals. And so, again, more important than writing down your vision, it is imperative that you write down and commit to memory your execution tactic. Because if you aren't actively executing actionable steps to reach your goals, then you are complacent and just dreaming about them and just fantasizing about them. And, you know, sometimes you've got to make your goals realistic. But let me say this. You got to be realistic and unrealistic about your goals. It's got to be a combination of both. And I know that that's a contradictory ass statement. But when I say that, I mean, for example, I used to look before the slap, but even still, like, Will Smith has some really impeccable motivational speeches. He always has. And, you know, of course, you know, before the slap, I would always just pull up Will Smith motivational speeches or whatever. And, you know, sometimes being realistic is playing it safe, meaning you'll never reach for the star. You know, if you shoot for the sky, you'll at least get the stars. That's why people say aim high. That's why when you go to court, you sue somebody for 100 million, you might get 57 million. You might get, you know, whatever. So sometimes it's important to not being realistic. But when I say being realistic about your goals and your visions and what you're trying to do, I mean, it's got to match your work ethic. Sometimes you do have to be unrealistic about your goals. Think about the person that invented, and this is literally, I'm paraphrasing from Will Smith in some of his speeches. Think about the person who invented the airplane before it had been done. I'm going to bend some metal and I'm going to fly this metal over bodies of water and fly. I'm going to bend this metal and fly people, you know, across the world with it. It sounds crazy. It sounds unattainable. But the Wright brothers, you know, got it done. However, it matched their work ethic. Now, if you don't have the discipline and you get up every day saying, I'm gonna make $5 million next year, and you ain't doing nothing to work for it, your work ethic doesn't even match what you're trying to do. That's what makes it unrealistic, is that you don't have the willingness to put into it. It's not that the goal is unattainable or that you can't reach right below it, right? Because again, sometimes you shoot for the stars. You might want to make 300,000 next year, but you might make 250. You might just make 200, but you might still be satisfied with that because you shot high. You know what I mean? And you might even get above that, but your work ethic has to match whatever you desire to do. Otherwise, you're really setting yourself up for an endless, daunting task. You're setting yourself up to be dissatisfied by yourself all the time because you're not being realistic with your goals, because you don't even realize what you can and cannot do, or what you are willing or not willing to do based off of your level of discipline. So you got to be realistic with yourself and what you are and are not willing to do. What are you trying to prioritize? What are you trying to deprioritize? That's one of the words of the day. I got a sticky note coming up about deprioritization as it pertains to content. I got a couple good sticky notes coming up for y'all next week. I'm really excited about that. But look, Leo, you playing with a bag while I'm on live. Stop it. Yes. That's today's sticky note. If it resonated with you, be sure to comment down below. I'm doing me, so I know it's real. Okay. Rashida said, and prayer without work doesn't work. Absolutely. That's another true statement, you know. It's kind of like when people be asking God for help and stuff like that. people be asking God for guidance or Jesus, whatever your higher power is, right? Matter of fact, asking anybody for help. You could be asking the whole human for help. It doesn't matter. But asking people for help without the willingness to move your feet, it's not going to do anything. If you want somebody or some force or some whatever to help you, you have to be willing to move your feet as well. God, Jesus, whoever can't guide you if you aren't willing to move your feet. So your work ethic has a lot to do with if your goals are realistic or not. It's not that the goal is out of this world. Is it so far out of touch from your willingness and your discipline to attain that? That's what makes your goals realistic or not. Bars. That's a bar. But look, that's a sticky note. If it resonated with you, be sure to comment down below. I'm doing me. Someone else real. Okay. Doris said Leo was like, it's getting too deep. Yeah, it is. It is getting too deep. Let me give him the last bit of his money. Come on. Come on. Wait a minute. Because the people... Wait. Oh, wait, you and it, the people want to see. Can you say hello? Say hello. All right. Okay. That's where you sitting at now? Boy, get down. Leo, get down. Child. Faith without work is dead. He was ready. He was ready to get the last little bit of his money. Yes. Yes, what's going on? Bye, Leo. Look, can you tell them thank you for watching? Come on. Wait, no, don't. Say thanks for watching. All right. He doesn't want to say it. Damn. Bye. Thank y'all so much for watching. Okay, see, you know what, the cat throws everything off, but y'all like the cat. Okay, when I don't bring the cat on here, y'all be all, where's Leo? Where's Leo? Somewhere not getting on my nerves when he's not here. That's what's going on. That's the real tea. Okay. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for checking the community tab, engaging with some of the content on the community tab. If you became a member during this show, which I think there might have been like 5 or so of you all, thank you so much. Don't forget to check the members only community tab. Okay. So you can see your members only exclusive posts. Look, do something to pour into yourself today. I know I felt really bad. Not Princess coming in here all late. Girl, you late. Not right at the end you pop up. How long you been in the bushes? How long you been in the bushes? Thank you, Troll Farm Buggy. I think that this is a pretty cute shirt. Macy's did me right. I can't have a girl sitting out for, you know, it's an interesting shirt nonetheless. Okay. It's an interesting shirt. What was I going to say? As we close this thing out, grab your belongings, because if you leave them Gucci slides or them Gucci shades on the bus, baby, don't come back tomorrow telling me about them, because they mine. And I'm going to wear them right in your face and tell you I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay? So grab your Teflar bags, grab your Gucci bags, grab your Fendi bags. And even if you leave fake stuff on the bus, I'm going to DM Bishop Lamar Whitehead from a troll account. And I'm going to sell them to him since he wears fake Fendi. Okay. So y'all need to make sure y'all got all y'all stuff when y'all leave off this bus, because I'm either going to pawn it or I'm going to wear it. So if I can fit it, it's mine. Ain't no lost and found, B. Not on my bus. Ain't no lost and found, B. And like I was telling y'all earlier, I sat in on Bishop Lamar Whitehead. I sat in on his Bible study this morning. He can't read, y'all. He can't read, let alone a Bible. I screen recorded it too. I need to figure out if I'm gonna format it and upload it. But he can't read. I'm telling you. He cannot read. It was horrible. He was stumbling over 2-syllable words. I said, what the fuck? He was telling people to check Proverbs chapter 100 something. Proverbs ain't got no chapter 100. I'm telling you, it's horrible. It's horrible. He could not. I was so shook falling back to sleep this morning, screen recording his ass. I knew I was trying to go back to sleep. I said, let me screen record this fool. He get up trying to. The comments started eating him up so bad halfway through, he turned them off. At first, it was cool because it was only 60 people there. And then people found out he was there. It got to be a little over 100. He turned them comments off so fast. He said, because I don't want y'all to miss the message. Some of y'all are focusing on the wrong thing. They weren't focusing on the wrong thing, baby. They will hold you accountable. Accountability is the right thing for a con or a crook like you. Stop playing these games. They said Reverend Revenue. Reverend Revenue was up early this morning with his little daughter's glasses on. With them Paw Patrol glasses on. I'm so sick of them pink glasses. Don't make no sense. Not you. Y'all, he turned and looked at me so. Is everything okay? Okay. Me and Leo need our own TV show. We need our own TV show. Because there's too much going on. Look, this has been an amazing show. What have we been on here? Almost 3 hours? Yeah, it's time to go. Look, let me know your thoughts on everything that we have discussed on today's show. Make sure you keep it sticky and real. We got into Breonna Taylor, Brittney Griner. We got into the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene playing in our faces. Mayor Eric Adams and what's going on at Rikers Island, the teacher shortage. You really couldn't pay me to be a teacher right now in these times. In these times. We got into the pox of the monkey. We got into celebrity entertainment. Wendy Williams. Why was Free R. Kelly trending today? NeYo's wife in the restraining order. We got into the black man who was dressed up as a slave for work, but actually ended up winning in the end. There was a lot going on in today's show. Today's show was a lot longer than honestly I wanted it to have been. I feel like some things got lost just based off of the length of the show. But, it is what it is. I was gone for 2 days and I felt like there were some things I'd missed. I had taken some notes on Thursday that I wanted to present on Friday. And there were also some things that happened on Wednesday that I wasn't able to present because I just needed rest. I felt so bad that my body was in burnout mode. I had went 2 days in a row with 3 hours of sleep, and it finally caught up to me. And I thought I was ready on Thursday. I was like, cool, I got enough rest on Wednesday. Let me come back on Thursday. Thursday, my body was like, no, you still ain't got enough rest. I'm like, damn, can't give them no content. So Friday came, and I just felt the need to compensate for what I had missed. And I had already done a great amount of research on other videos. So I'm like, this is going to be a long show. It's going to be a fruity show. Not fruity show, a full show, a fruitful show, a hearty show. And that's it. So I'm just trying to do better with removing the guilt from the guilt that I associate with self-preservation and self-care. When I know I'm either on the verge of burnout, like literally burn it out, because I still work my 9-to-5 job, but then I get off and I do all this for YouTube. And, I really do feel bad. I'll come home from work, I'll sit on the couch, I'll eat a salad, and then I'll pass out without my knowledge. It's not till I wake up at like 11 o'clock at night and I'm like, damn, I didn't give them no content. And I feel so bad. I'm like beating myself up because I'm just used to feeding y'all content at the very least Monday through Friday. Y'all know the weekends is a different story. I typically don't really pop up too much on the weekends because I just be too, just really just enjoying some time to chill. So I'm trying not to associate guilt with self-care and self-preservation and getting my rest and really recharging the way that I need to. There's no reason I should feel as guilty as I do when I'm not able to come live and deliver a video. But I do, because I really love y'all and I love this and I love what I do. I love the information that I research and that I'm able to aggregate and regurgitate to you all and break it down in a way that, in my own way, that makes sense. So, it is what it is. So, yeah. Always tell us to make sure we're good before you stream. You need to. Like, I know. You do a lot delaying your meals and all. It's okay. Yeah, I gotta delay my meals because if I don't delay my meal, I ain't gonna get here to see y'all. The itis be coming down on me. The itis be coming down. Okay, go to the pier. That's true. Thank you, Yvonne. Rashida, Miss Parker. Hey, Miss Parker. This Bitcoin troll, spam page is not giving up. God, that thing is crazy. Nonetheless, look, I hope y'all have an amazing night. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up or down, either way. I appreciate it. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of this Black, celebrity news, regular Black news. And look, y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. So hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Drop some pancake emojis down in the chat. Don't forget that the Cash App is open. The Super Chats are open. The Super Thanks are open, but they're not required. At the very least, just hit the thumbs up button. And look, y'all stay beautiful. I meant to get Tyra Banks on somebody this evening. There was some white people acting up that I wanted to get Tyra for. I got to get Tyra.
But you're not. Stop it! I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this. When my mother yells at this, it's because she loves me. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this. You go to bed at night, you lay there, and you take responsibility for yourself.
Take responsibility for you. Leo, what's going on? And what's that mean? Hello, I'm right here. This is my workspace. Can you move, please? Thank you, Baldy. Bye, you guys. Deuces.
But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right.
Wait a minute. You YouTubers are scared of losing your channel slaves. Cecilia, what you mean? What you mean by that? Cecilia? You YouTubers scared of losing your channel slaves? Can you make that make a little bit of sense for me? What do you mean by that? Who or what are you calling a slave? And it's really interesting that I see that comment, and it's just, yeah, what do you mean by that? Cecilia, are you here? Cecilia, are you here? Do you care to elaborate a little bit about what you mean? We just want a little bit of understanding. Just come outside. We promise we're not going to jump you. Just come outside. We're not going to jump you. What you talking about? Cecilia, are you there? You there? Oh. Cecilia, you not there? You thought you could sneak that in on the way out? And I wasn't going to see it? And maybe you could come back next video and drop some more stuff like that? Cecilia? Oh. Okay. Okay, let me check out this other comment you left, Cecilia. It says, my son is in education. Anything against God these days. Anything against God these devils are doing, turning boys into girls and vice versa. Can somebody remind me if we were talking about anything along those lines? Were we talking about anything along those lines? Did they just like stopping at the end and they wanted to talk about what they wanted to talk about? You YouTubers? You know when they say you people, or you people, oh, what you mean you people? You YouTubers. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Then you add slaves in there. What are you talking about? Cecilia? What's going on? Cecilia, you there? I mean, you might as well just explain yourself, because if you explain yourself, I won't block you. But if not, I'm going to block your ass. So you can't come back next time and leave any of these cryptic comments. Because not only does this have improper syntax and diction, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. It seems like it could potentially be an intended insult, but it also seems like you're not making any sense. You hopped off the bus before I could kick your ass off? Is that what's going on? You YouTubers scared of losing your channel. Slaves. What does me taking 2 days off and feeling bad for not providing content because I really give a fuck about my subscribers, how does that make me... You know, being on YouTube is actually a form of entrepreneurship. It's not like you got to clock in a specific time of day. Now, slavery is working a 9 to 5. I'm not sure what the hell you're trying to say, Cecilia. But poof, be gone. Your breath is too strong. Oh, wait, come back. I got a tic-tac. Not one, not two, but the whole damn pack. Because, girl, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. Let's go ahead and get Cecilia up out of here. Let me go ahead and permanently escort her up out of here. Imagine somebody yelling something rude on the bus and then run it off. You YouTubers scared to lose your channel. Slavery. Bitch, I'm going to chase you down and I'm going to fucking block your ass. She really blurted some shit out and ran off. She gonna ride the bus and blur some shit out and run off. Could you imagine? See, I couldn't be no MTA driver, child. I don't know if Cecilia deleted it or not, but guess what? Cecilia got blocked. That's on period. Okay. All right. Let's go. You ready, Leo? You ready? Let me stop giving him action words, child, because he get excited. Bye, y'all.
But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.